Did you say what kind of animal it was that attacked her?
So you're saying it's some type of animal attack?
Statistically, there's been more animal attacks, mysterious deaths, people gone missing.
In other news, local authorities remain perplexed by the animal attacks.
What attacked you in the woods?
An animal. What else could it have been?
Welcome to It Was an Animal Attack, home of the supernatural drama series. I'm Fadzai.
And I'm Sandile.
And today we will be talking about our resident hereditary werewolf of Beacon Hills, Derek Hale.
Hey.
I almost call him Peter, which I always do when I'm talking about him to myself. I don't know why. Do you ever have two people who like occupy the same space in your brain and you always call one the other, but not like the other way around? So I often call Derek Peter, but I never call Peter Derek.
Interesting. You also often call Cassandra Clare Clarissa Clare, which is her character. But I don't think you've ever done it the other way around.
That is not my... Yeah, I haven't. That is not my fault. That is an author avatar in ways that could be unpacked in a different conversation.
And you know what? We're not here for that.
We're not. We're not here for that.
I was just thinking about heredity in terms of lycanthropy because it's such an interesting variation across stories about werewolves. You see something like Twilight where being a werewolf is hereditary, full stop. It's not like a transferable thing the way vampirism is. You see in some stories where being a werewolf is like a curse or a sickness that can only be transferred through the bite, sometimes only under a full moon.
Like Van Helsing, our underrated fave.
Like in Van Helsing, yes indeed. Watch Van Helsing if you haven't seen it. But yeah, Teen Wolf is a rare one where you have both the curse and the heredity, which makes it interesting in terms of the culture of lycanthropy in this world. But I digress.
Which is explored so much more than our season 1 show, Vampire Diaries, ever cared to do.
Ain't that the truth?
And we'll get into it, but like Derek occupies such a necessary space in the story from the get-go as being like, this is very much Scott's story as like he's the main character, but he is a wolf that is bitten and turned, and Derek's like, well, I come from the bloodline, I have the culture and the history, and that's my role in the story, sort of bringing you in through that lens and being like, let me teach you everything I know because I was born to it. You merely adopted the lycanthropy. I was born to it.
I was born to it, molded by it.
I've never seen that movie. The number of times I quote Bane is actually insane.
I've only seen it once.
I saw the first two. I think I get it, you know? I think it's fine.
Part of my brain... I mean, it's not really the kind of movie that I feel like going back to see, but I think maybe part of my brain is like, I don't want to revisit that headspace because I did watch it on a very awkward date in Matric.
Oh, wow. Giving away your age there. But, you know, they released the Dark Knight Rises in 1820.
I saw it in a silent movie theater. Later releases had the voices added afterwards, which is why Bane sounds so weird. So now you know how old I am, guys. Oh, I was gonna say, what are your opening thoughts about Derek Hale?
Derek Hale. And maybe this is because the most recent time I saw him was in that god-awful movie. But I think he's a character that's looked back on with maybe a lot more grace than should be given. I say that as someone who likes Derek Hale. I like the character Derek Hale. Derek was up to some crazy stuff in those early seasons.
I agree wholeheartedly. Yes.
It makes him very interesting, but it does position him in a place where I sort of go, now Derek, now that you're in season 3 and you've got your little good guy Ronan thing going on, do you think I forgot about the shit you was up to? I haven't. My memory's long.
Pulling up his old tweets, like, this you?
You can delete them, but I'll find them. No, but like you said, he's interesting in the context of Scott's story because he has this experience and this wisdom that comes from growing up in this thing that Scott has just honestly been dragged into. He is often a reluctant source of information when the supernatural goings on are like getting weird. He is a decent person to have on your side when he's on your side.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the more that they start pulling on the thread of his past, I don't know, I guess the more human he becomes over time. And that's like an interesting part to follow, like the places Derek has been and the things he's faced, certainly. I guess I'm trying to think of like what comparable characters they are to the position he holds. He's like a reluctant mentor, but then also like a minor antagonist at some points during the story.
Yes. Maybe a rival, not necessarily like a fully blown antagonist.
I don't know. Season 2 especially, he's like sending out his goons to mess with Scott's pack. I'm just like, buddy, we've got enough problems.
That is true. Season 2, there's so much to unpack in season 2. It is the longest of his seasons, I believe. No, that's season 3.
Season 3.
Wait, which one is longer? Season 3? Season 3.
Season 3. It's twice as long as the other 2, or the other 3.
I struggled to find someone to compare Derek with in these types of shows that we watch. And I think it ties into the reason why I'm glad when he eventually leaves the show. And it's because my assessment of Derek overall is that he has a very noticeable shelf life on a show like this, in a story like this.
Interesting.
Derek is an adult character in this teenage story. It's got teen in the title.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
And the thing about adult characters, I've thought this out, so just strap in for this one. In these sort of supernatural YA shows, we call them YA shows, but the protagonists are almost always teenagers,
right,
in the beginning and for like the first 3 seasons or so.
Yeah, that's what young adult like was meant to mean. It's like it's the transition from teenage to adulthood before that kind of shifted into like the new adult space, and then they had to create a new category. But that's a whole like genre. It's all nonsense at the end of the day, but like it was nonsense that meant something, you know.
But in this kind of a story where, you know, people are supernatural and they're finding out about their heritage or getting power placed upon them or whatever, it's often this metaphor for growing up and maturing and learning about your heritage or your destiny or your position in society. And in shows like that, if I can use 3 examples, two shows we've covered and one that's really old. And guys, if you haven't seen it, spoiler warning, I guess, for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which finished airing in 2003.
For sure.
In those shows, the adult figures, like, they're significantly older than the kids. They're like parental figures, as opposed to like cool older sibling / young uncle, which is the space Derek occupies in Teen Wolf. In The Vampire Diaries and The Secret Circle, 2 of the shows we've covered on our podcast before, The Vampire Diaries, Secret Circle, and Buffy, the adults have like very, very different ways they occupy the story. In The Vampire Diaries, they're all dead already or gradually die off as the characters get older.
That's very true.
Like, if you're not an orphan in season 1 or a 2-fold orphan by the end of season 2 like Elena, you are an orphan by season 7. So the adults are like, the adults can't really be there to mentor or offer help or be responsible because they all get killed off, and many of them don't know about the masquerade until it's too late, or until they're in a position where the kids are better equipped to handle things than they are. In Buffy, we have a mentor figure who is a lead. That's Giles. The other parentals, one of them is killed off partway through the show, very sadly. And everybody else's parents either never show up or are so irrelevant they get like 1 episode where they appear.
The parent
and then they're
episode.
never seen again.
And they fade into the background. Really no need to talk about them.
And then in The Secret Circle, it's like a combination of various things. It's some parents are dead, some are never seen, some are parental figures who aren't literal parents and they die off or aren't frequently there, and then some are literal antagonists.
They are
for
your
most
ops.
of the show.
They are the ones causing problems for you.
Yes. And so, because Derek is only an op for like half of season 2, the rest of the time, like, he's got to be a mentor figure because he's not like, he's not unaware of the masquerade. He's not like being brought into it. So he's a mentor figure. And eventually the show and the characters get to a space where they don't really need his kind of mentorship anymore. And it's exacerbated by the fact that the actual parents get brought into the fold at a certain point in Teen Wolf. We've got like 1 parent who's already aware of everything, and then 2 more who get brought in. So then it's like, yeah, we don't really need you anymore, Derek. Especially when the focus shifts away from literal werewolves, and now we're dealing with all sorts of other things. And it's like Derek doesn't really know about this stuff on a personal level.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah.
Because of that, I'm grateful that he eventually leaves the show. I think he has a good arc, and I think he bows out well. It's just the way they bow him out feels like they were uncertain if they were bowing him out. And then the reason that he bows out later on feels like it was just dropped and ignored. But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But I don't doubt that they were uncertain, because regardless of the narrative importance of Derek, in terms of the reception of Derek and his worth in the eyes of the audience, he's a very lucrative character. So I'm sure they were keeping the door open to bring him back just in case things were dipping too much, you know?
Just in case. Yeah. I mean, things did dip, but I don't know that Derek's presence would have helped.
Hey. Ooh.
It's like, let me throw sand on these dying embers.
Yeah.
Maybe they will burn the sand and reignite.
Who knows?
No, I don't think they will.
Silica crystals may be flammable. Who says they can't be? Scientists? Never heard of them.
Season 1, Derek, rewatching season 1, I was like, yeah, Derek, I know season 2, you'll get even worse, but season 1, you're kind of creepy. And I know you're meant to be creepy. You're like the weird loner on the edge of town who's got secrets, and obviously everyone going in has to be like, yeah, that weird Derek Hale guy. But it's like, but Derek, do you try not to be creepy? Have you tried not being a mutant?
70% of his shots in season 1 are him in the corner of the shot, ramrod straight, almost T-posing, staring wide-eyed at Scott. It is so insane.
I'm like, why are you out here just glaring at teenagers in the distance? It makes
Standing a few hundred yards from the school at all times.
It makes it so that when eventually he's accused of the killings that are going on in season 1 and is then like a wanted man for a few episodes, I'm like, yeah, I get why they would believe that about you. You give creepy serial killer vibes.
The weird guy who's been hanging around. Yeah, he killed them.
But he starts off as this, like you said, reluctant mentor, because Scott gets bitten and he's like, well, now I've got this teen wolf, roll credits, running around. And it's not that I care particularly, but he's gonna get us in trouble because he's gonna jeopardize the masquerade. So I've got to teach him, control and the tricks I have up my sleeve. But also, he has a connection to the Alpha. And I want to know who the Alpha is. Because at the start of the show, Derek's older sister Laura is discovered murdered in the woods the night that Scott is bitten. And Derek deduces that the Alpha might have had something to do with that. Initially, he does blame the Argents, who I guess get to town around the same time. Not yet Kate, but Chris, Victoria, and their child, Allison, get to town. And I hadn't realized this. I had forgotten this until I did my rewatch. But Derek actually hasn't been in town.
Yeah.
Until Laura dies.
Yes, he's
so I
returned.
Guess I think they were both gone, and then she came back for whatever reason. I guess she was lured there. And then once she doesn't return from wherever it is that she's left, he's like, let me go find my sister, and then shows up and like, oh no, my sister has been bisected.
Butchered, yeah.
And something bizarre is going on. For some reason, for at least season 1, Derek is living in the ruins of his house.
Yeah.
Because
every time they step into that house, it looks like half a house. The floors are non-existent. The walls are half broken. I guess he doesn't need to stay warm because he's a werewolf.
But I'm like,
where are you cooking your food, buddy?
Where are you cooking? Where are you bathing? Like, where are you going potty? Because I know Kate Argent is going to make some jokes about you just finding a tree to go against.
Oh, yeah.
But surely you need plumbing.
Like, you're in Giorgio Armani every other day. You must be bathing and dressing somewhere.
Just so strange. And the weird thing is, in a later season, somebody will bring up the Hale ruins and they'll be like, you don't still live there. And he's like, no, I've got an apartment. And it's like, okay, but was he living there in season 1? Because this suggests that that's where he was at a certain point.
I mean, he was always there. His car was there too. I unfortunately believe he was living there.
Shame. I guess, memories, because that was his family home. They were all, well, we say all, but we'll later on learn that it was all minus 3 and then eventually plus 1 were burned in a fire before the start of the show. Well before, because when Styles speaks to Scott, he says, oh yeah, remember Derek Hale? He was only a couple of years older than us. They will keep that vague for the rest of the show, frustratingly so. He was like, his family died in that fire, and it's like, oh, okay, shame, poor little orphan boy. He's lost his sister, the only living family he had left. And then we learn that no, actually, his uncle is alive. He survived the fire with some extensive burns on his face, but he is catatonic, unresponsive, and living in the hospital. So Derek is like, yeah, Scott, I'm a werewolf. My family was born to it. When Scott asks him certain questions, there is at least one scene where Derek is like, well, you were bitten, not born, so it might be different for you. And I was like, oh, okay. That doesn't tend to come up a whole lot.
And there's a bit of uncertainty to that too, which makes me, I'm always curious about like, when there's a culture of lycanthropy, what are the customs in terms of turning people? Like, is it a sacred thing? Is it a forbidden thing? Like, what's the deal? Whatever it may be, it seems he's like at least less informed on what it is to be a werewolf who has turned rather than his own experience. So it can't have been happening enough in the last 20 to 25 years.
Yeah. That makes sense. We only ever see 3 alphas in the show who like do actually turn someone, I believe, unless it's one of the later seasons that I've forgotten. They're certainly not as precious with their turning as, say, vampires are in Mystic Falls, where they're like, oh no, like in season 2 of The Vampire Diaries, Elena needs information from someone, and she's like, oh, Rose here, my new vampire friend, will give you some of her blood because you're a vampire groupie. And later on, Rose is like, she's not touching my blood. And I was like, why do you care, Rose? Just turn her. You need information. This is life or death.
It's my blood.
The originals want you dead.
Now I'm responsible for that, loser. Imagine the cyalides.
I guess when you know that turning someone means they will live forever, and you're like, ugh, do I want to saddle the world and myself with your eternal existence?
And also, it's one more person who is a fracture point in the secrecy about vampires. Will they know how to operate in a way that is discreet enough?
Yeah. Certainly Derek, when Scott is wigging out a bit in the earlier episodes and being like, I might have superpowers, but my life is ruined.
No.
Like, you know, I'm freaking out and I might hurt people. And then eventually I learn my girlfriend's parents want to kill me. And Derek is like, this is a gift. How dare you be ungrateful? You're stronger and faster. You heal. You can play lacrosse. You're not asthmatic anymore. How dare you turn your nose up at this amazing thing that someone gave you without your consent?
Exactly. It's like, whoa, buddy. I feel like I'd be real happy if I wanted it, if I'd asked for it, but neither of those things are true.
I think eventually he starts to sympathize a bit more with Scott when he realizes, oh, the Argents are here and they're murdering people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it's not great. Maybe I should take pity on this kid and be like, yeah, watch your back because these people will kill you. And maybe you shouldn't be dating that girl, which we'll later learn is from personal experience. Because enter Kate Argent.
Brilliant segue.
Kate Argent. I actually love Kate. I had forgotten how fun she is as an antagonist. She's insane.
Yeah.
She enters the show with an almost Catherine Pierce-like energy. She's just reveling in her evil. So happy to be. And you know what? The story positions the Argents as people who are like, from our POV, we're the good guys.
Yeah.
We're in a show about coming to town and slaughtering monsters that have overrun the community. But Kate is like, no, I'm aware that I'm the bad guy. I auditioned for that role. I want to be the villain. I love playing the villains. I'm Julian McMahon.
This is what speaks to me as a performer, you know?
She's just like relishing in the hunt, whereas Chris Argent is very much like, yeah, we do what we have to. I don't take pleasure in killing people. I do it because it's like a rabid animal that needs to get put down. And Kate is like, no, I'm a sadist. I am so happy to not only cause physical pain, but even emotional pain. I'm going to go to Derek's house because for some reason he just lives there, so it's easy to find him. I'm going to go to his house with 2 of my unnamed hunter stooges and be like, hey, Derek, come out wherever you are. Remember when we killed your sister?
Oh my God.
Remember how you found her butchered and you had to bury her and it was so sad? And when Derek comes out to fight her and she disables him, she's like, well, actually, surprise, we didn't kill
do
her.
that.
We did mutilate her body afterwards. We did bisect her, but we're not the ones who killed her. And I think deep down you knew that, Derek. You wanted to scapegoat us because of our pre-existing enmity, but I think you know that it was the alpha. So Derek, honey, why not join forces with us and we can take him down together? Just tell us who he is and we'll kill him. And Derek is like, oh no, the alpha wolf killed my sister. It's so sad. And then she's like, wait, you don't know who he is? Well, I guess I'm killing you then.
But to keep us honest, to keep it equal opportunity, because as much as Chris is a bit more to the code than Kate is, he does also like the intimidation. There is that scene where Derek is in his, I don't know, what's a fancy car? He's in his Ferrari, whatever car he has, at a petrol station, and the Argents just roll up. And Chris says some shit.
Oh, yes.
They're like, oh, you've got a taillight out there. Let's fix that for you. And someone comes in and bashes his window in. So,
yeah, he's
known to do a little intimidation himself.
He does do that, yeah. But at least Chris is like, I don't hurt kids. That's one thing I would never do. I hurt people who are a threat. And Derek, you have blue eyes, so I know you've killed before. Yeah. Because that's the thing about Teen Wolf. If you are a beta or an omega, your eyes will either glow golden yellow if you've never killed before, or a bright crystal blue if you have. They say taking an innocent life. An
innocent life is very particular.
I never see an example where someone killed someone who I guess had it coming and their eyes didn't turn blue.
Yeah. I think the one example they could have gotten there was Malia, but unfortunately Malia's story is particularly about the first people she kills being the most innocent you could be. Her mom and her sister. So that's like cool.
But Derek's got his blue eyes. And so I guess if the Argents are in the know, they're like, yeah, we know, but you're not on the up and up. You've taken light before, and therefore we'll be happy to kill you as soon as you slip up. But Chris is like, I don't want to kill Derek just yet because I want him to lead me to the alpha. And Kate is like, oh, I'm itching to kill Derek. And once she finds out that Derek doesn't know who the alpha is, she's like, yay, let me kill him. Yeah. She's so, unlike Catherine, who I just compared her to, she's so thirsty for Derek, but perfectly happy to kill him. She's like, no, I've had you before. I can kill you. Whereas Catherine is like, I don't want to kill Stefan. I would love to keep Stefan alive. My priority is surviving, but number 2 on my list is Stefan. Always. Kate is like, I've been there. She stands over Derek at one point and she's like, look at that body. I don't know whether to kill it or lick it. And I was like, excuse me?
Catherine Argent. Please.
I'm like, I understand, Kate, but you're at work. Please, you have a job to do.
Focus up, goddammit. Have some decorum.
Laura, Derek's older sister, was previously an alpha werewolf. They have glowing red eyes. And this werewolf now running around town who has bitten Scott, and this is like the whodunit of season 1, trying to figure out who this werewolf is, also has glowing red eyes. He is the alpha, and we learn that he has become an alpha by stealing the power from Laura. He killed her and took her power, so that's something that can happen. Everyone assumes this wolf is male. They keep saying he, him whenever they talk about him, even though they have no idea who it is.
He's just got he, him energy is the thing. Like, women alphas don't typically go around just serial killing. I don't know. I see what they're vibing
Behind every alpha male is a woman who he stole the power from.
True that.
And at one point, Derek goes to Peter sitting in his state of catatonia and is like, please, Uncle Peter, I need you to tell me if you know anything about what happened. Like, please, just like, give me a sign, like a blink, a finger wiggle. Come on. And then like a nurse comes in and she's like, hey, stop harassing my patient, all right? He's been unresponsive for years. Yelling at him is not going to work. And Derek is like, what should I do? And she's like, just give him time. Eventually, like, he'll become lucid on his own. And I was like, really? But he's been sitting there unchanging for like 6 years. But okay.
All right, fine.
We later on learned that she's lying, but in the moment I was like, is this your professional diagnosis? Do nurses give diagnoses?
I have my RN. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Peter is a dead end. And Derek is left trying to figure out who this alpha is for most of season 1. His motivations are obviously different than Scott. Scott is like, oh, well, this alpha, he turned me and now it seems that he wants to like bring me into his pack, which would be a pack of 2. And I don't really want that. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm scared. At one point, Derek tells Scott, apparently you might be able to cure yourself of this lycanthropy that you don't really want by killing the wolf that bit you. But for Derek, it's like, no, I want to know why he killed my sister. Like, this is a revenge quest for me. Another tragic aspect of his backstory is tied to Kate because it's hinted very heavily. I know rewatching it, obviously you know already, but I'm like, I think I would have figured out pretty quickly that Kate is the one who set the fire.
Yeah.
Because every time it comes up and she's in the scene, she just gets this look on her face like she's like, oh yeah.
I remember that. Oh, what a time. I mean, oh, fire. Damn.
It's the look someone gets on their face when they think you don't know that they're involved with someone else in the room. And it's like, I can look at your energy. I can see how you are just replaying in your mind all the great times.
What's that thing those bioessentialist freaks on Twitter do where they draw lines on couples to show the woman is turning towards the man, the man is looking ahead.
I love those.
Kate
What is it?
turning towards the
Shame
fire.
facing the world.
She's facing the fire.
But she always talks about it like, yeah, it's this thing. Like, Chris will speak about the fire isn't like, yeah, that fire that happened, that, you know, obviously that was a terrible thing that we wouldn't have done. And she's like,
Yeah.
that fire.
Never.
Yeah, I'm not really sad about it, but yeah, of course, we'd never have done it. And eventually, at different stages, people realize that, oh, it was Kate who set the fire. And Chris is like, oh my gosh, Kate, how could you do this? And she's like, oh, come on, they were werewolves. And we learn that the rule is that A, they don't hurt kids, and B, not every werewolf or not every child born into a wolf bloodline is a wolf. That's sort of implied in season 1. It's later on explicitly stated in like later seasons. But Chris does say there were kids in that house. So it's like, oh my gosh, when Derek's, I guess, cousins, siblings, aunties, and uncles all burned alive with his mom, there were like human beings in there. And Kate just didn't care.
So even by your barbaric code, you've done something horrifying.
She's like, the code needs to evolve.
We should be able to sacrifice some regular kids so we can kill the werewolf kids.
You know?
Thoughts? I'm just asking questions.
Collateral damage.
Ugh.
I was following orders, my own.
But even like baseline on the code too, because the idea that Chris Argent's saying that is this moral position, we'll just wait for the kids to become adults and kill them then. All right. I guess you are the hero of the Hunter's Code.
And this whole like enmity between Kate and Derek, because Derek doesn't seem initially to particularly hate her. It's just like, oh yeah, my ex, or like this ex fling that I don't particularly like anymore, because like, yeah, she was kind of wild. Whereas Kate is like, my former lay who I want to kill so badly, but there was time for one more bonk. And it's this interesting sort of like backdrop to the whole Scott and Allison thing, where it's like, is this where they'll end up? Will they end up being this couple that is doomed to want to kill each other and destroy each other, despite how much of a connection there is?
It's so interesting, the fact that they had a brief fling. From Derek's perspective, it's understandable because he was, I think, about as young as Scott is now. And so maybe a little rebellious, a little unaware of the gravity of the situation. But from Kate's perspective, seeing how hardcore she is about the code, I'm so curious why that was something she wanted to do.
It seems from the things, I mean, we can talk about it more in a Kate episode, but it seems from the things that she says that she was using him from the get-go.
Just for information.
Yeah, she makes fun of Derek at one point and says, oh, you were pulled in by a pretty girl who batted her eyelashes at you. Don't feel bad. That's actually how she figures out that Scott is the new beta wolf. She's like, isn't it funny that history might be repeating itself? I'm pulling you in again. And she's like, wait, history repeating itself? Oh my gosh, it's not Jackson who's the beta, it's Scott.
Say that again.
Miles Teller.
To herself is crazy.
That gif will always be famous. We've spoken in the Allison episode about the horror aspect of this show, and very much this alpha wolf looming in the background that terrifies everybody. It very much lends itself to that. And then Derek takes up the position of like, even though he's very young, he'd be like the older, like if this was like a teen movie where like, oh, we go to the cabin in the woods, and Derek's like the older figure who's like, beware,
I've been hunting
children.
This monster for
I
years.
know about the curse.
Beware of its eyes. It only hunts at night.
And eventually, creepy Derek gets a target painted on his back by law enforcement because he goes after Deaton, believing Deaton is the alpha of all
That
people.
is the
And I was like,
funniest part of season 1 looking back. Like, at the time, obviously, it's so clearly like it's someone who's very mentory and close to Scott. And so it would make sense why he's bitten Scott and wants him in his circle. But looking back, it's like, how on earth did you think Deaton was the alpha?
Scott doesn't believe it. Stiles, I don't think he believes it either, but Stiles also just doesn't like Derek. I'll speak about Stiles in a minute. So it's like he accuses Deaton, knocks him out. They drag him to the school. I can't remember why they go to the school. Can't for the life of me remember.
It was to keep him somewhere during the full moon. They basically wanted proof that Deaton wasn't the alpha. Because Derek was like, he's the alpha. It's so obvious because of all these things that he knows. And then we'll later find out that's for other reasons. Scott's like, there's no way he's the alpha. Stop beating him up. So then Scott's plan is to take him somewhere. And I think that's how the episode ends. And then in the next episode, they're driving off. It's Stiles, Derek, and Deaton, and I think they're going to go keep him at the school tied up somewhere because it's somewhere where no one is that they can do that easily. But he gets away while they're talking away from Stiles' car. And then there's an attack and they have to run into the school.
He somehow wakes up, unties himself, and slips away at the same time that the alpha shows up so that it looks like it really is Deaton.
It's not looking good for him in that era. He's unfortunately a victim of some bad luck.
Yeah, the alpha wolf gravely injures Derek, and stupid Scott and Stiles decide, yeah, I don't think his healing factor could protect him from that. He was lying on the ground bleeding. I think he's dead. And so for like 2 episodes, I guess the show expects us to believe that Derek has just died.
Yeah.
Unceremoniously.
Why not?
And Scott tells the authorities that, yeah, Derek Hale is the killer because he's just lying to everyone at that moment. He's lying to Jackson, Lydia, and Allison. He's lying to Sheriff Stilinski. He's like, yeah, it was Derek Hale. When Derek Hale shows up alive and well, he's like, yeah, I just went off to heal for a little bit. Thanks for making me a wanted man. Thanks for leaving me for dead and then pinning a series of murders on me that you know I didn't commit.
So funny.
Scott's like, yeah, it was a dumb idea. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking in the moment.
He said I was panicking. I'm 17. I'm not used to cops asking me questions and me having answers I shouldn't give.
But that night, when they believe Derek is dead and the alpha wolf attacks them in the school, Lydia and Jackson show up. They give Allison a lift because Allison's gotten a call from Scott. And then Scott's like, I didn't text you. How did you get this text? So then it's like, oh no, the alpha wolf was clearly texting Allison. And once Derek shows up again, a few episodes later, he's like, okay, we need to find out where this text was sent from because apparently it wasn't sent from Scott's phone. I guess, I mean, there were a lot of Blackberries in season 1. Maybe someone logged into his BBM account.
They got his BBM pin. They sent it out.
But eventually, Derek and Stiles go to the hospital. Derek has to wait in the car because he's a wanted man because they've realized that the text that was sent to Allison was sent from a computer in the hospital that I guess the account it was logged into, because it couldn't be a computer that just belongs to her, but it was Melissa McCall's computer, Melissa being Scott's mom.
She's got that family plan.
So I guess for like half an episode, they're like, is Melissa the alpha?
Crazy, because then wouldn't Scott have been a werewolf by birth?
I guess I don't know what happens to a bitten wolf's children. I don't know.
Yeah.
We never get to see that.
So many questions.
But yeah, for like a hot second, I guess they wanted us to think that maybe Melissa McCall is the alpha. And I was like, guys, don't be silly. In the background, Stiles' father has been investigating these murders, as well as allowing Stiles, like he always does, to dig through confidential police information.
Insane.
And find out more about the arson that befell the Hale household. Team Scott has figured out that, a lot of these people who have been killed off are actually linked to the fire. Apparently, Kate didn't do it alone. The teacher, and one day we must talk about this teacher because now I'll never forget him. Now that I've rewatched properly, I'm like, okay, I guess...
You were here from day one, I guess.
I guess bringing you back as a final boss is still insane, but you have always been there. You're in the background of every photograph.
Precisely. He's been slightly off-center, slightly out of frame, but you've been there.
I mean, it's a little bit like if, Umbridge was the final op of the Harry Potter novels.
Right.
You'd be like, oh, okay. I mean,
Okay.
she sucks, but still kind of weird.
I guess. I mean, she got a cameo in the last one, and it's like, yeah, no, that's fair, but on our way to the big bad.
But this Mr. Harris, who weirdly has this soft spot for Jackson that's never really explained. I'm just like, why are you let Jackson do anything he wants?
I think he sees a lot of himself in Jackson.
Oh.
On open day, immediately I was like, no, not open day. The day when Jackson comes back from the attack at the video store, his and Lydia's attack, he's very soft towards Jackson in that. And I was like, I think you see a younger you in Jackson, and that's why you're really nice to him.
I see. But apparently he once told a pretty girl who spoke to him what chemicals one could use to start a fire. And the funny thing about Kate is, we'll talk about it more as we go on, Kate in relation to Derek, is that we don't know how old Kate is supposed to have been when she met Derek, and nor do we know how old Derek is. We'll also get to that.
Yeah.
Because sadly, modern English speakers will often refer to adult women as a girl.
Right. And they'll often say a couple of years interchangeably with a few years.
Mm-hmm. So we don't really know. Like, Mr. Harris describes Kate as, a pretty girl interested in chemistry. So I just blabbed and told her how to start a fire. And I was like, you didn't think that was weird?
How old were you? How old was she? Were you in college? Were you adults? What are we talking about?
Who knows? Who knows? We later on see him at a rave in like season 3 with a very young girl. And when the characters look at him funny, he's like, what? She's 21.
I don't like any of this.
So who knows?
Because how long ago was the fire? 6 or 16 years ago?
6 years.
6 years,
is what
okay.
Styles says. And Kate is supposed to be in her late 20s because later on when Styles asks his father, oh yeah, this woman that you once questioned about the fires, how old was she? And then Sheriff Stilinski is like, I don't know. She was like a young woman. She'd probably be in like her late 20s by now. And I'm like,
yeah.
So was she?
So she was in
she
her
in
early to mid 20s at the time of the fire.
And at the time of the fire, was Derek still a teen or was he an
I
adult? We don't know.
There's a reason in a later season that we'll get to, which is why that's my smoking gun about this relationship.
Okay.
And I'll keep mum on that.
But some of the people who like threw gasoline into the house through the window and all this other stuff, they're the people who've been killed off. And it's like, oh, the alpha wolf who just seems to be evil for the sake of like evilness. Derek initially like attributes it to like, oh no, wolves sometimes struggle with like the violent urge to kill things. It's like, no, the alpha wolf has been killing people, systematically taking out people who are responsible for this fire. Kate has just managed to get away with it for this long. And once that information reaches Derek and he's like, wait, someone getting revenge for the fire that killed my family. Someone murdered my sister knowing that she was an alpha and they could become an alpha. And someone sent Allison a message pretending to be Scott from a computer at the hospital. He's like, oh, snap. And he calls Styles. He's like, Styles, get out of there. It's Peter. Peter's the alpha wolf.
I love when a good mystery like twists around the center of the plot really well. And I think the season does it well.
Oh, I should talk about Jackson briefly. Jackson...
I don't blame you for forgetting.
Jackson, who's also the star of his own show. Jackson's show is, this loser at my school is using steroids, and then, no, it's not steroids, it's some sort of supernatural advantage, and he's cheating and taking away all the things that should be mine. I'm trying to figure out how that's happening. Oh, he's a werewolf. Now I want to be a werewolf. That's all I want. Please let me be a werewolf.
I beg you, Daddy, please turn me. I'll be such a good boy for you. Ooh.
And that puts him in Derek's crosshairs on a day in which Derek has been shot by Kate and is dying from wolfsbane poisoning. And for some reason, when Derek scratches him with, I guess, wolfsbane running through his system, this affects Jackson in a way that gives him like these creepy psychic werewolf nightmares and these scars that won't heal. It makes him even more obsessed with becoming a werewolf.
Yep. And it also makes him all sickly and gray, which is a whole other thing.
And so the whole time that Derek and Scott are dealing with the mystery of the alpha wolf and trying to dodge all the Argent's bullets, Jackson is just being this annoying little shit who's like, I'm gonna expose you. Like every time he sees Scott, it's I'm gonna expose you if you don't give me the bite. Every time he sees Derek, it's like, oh, I'm so terrified of you. Like, I want the power, but I don't want to mess with
can't even
you.
look at you straight. So much so that I believe on the night of the formal, he heads out into the woods drunk and like sees two red lights in the woods and thinks it's the alpha and is like, please turn me, I beg you. And it's the Argents shining two lights in the darkness, like, oh, okay, so you're a problem, let's grab you. And then he folds immediately and sells out Derek and Scott. And that's how Chris and them find out that Scott's a werewolf.
I was surprised that Derek doesn't immediately hate Peter. Well, I mean, I guess he does until he has a conversation with Peter and Peter's like, wait, no, Derek, let me explain. Yes, I've been killing people, but as you now know, they weren't innocent. They helped destroy our family. And also, I didn't kill Laura Hale on purpose. You know, sometimes it's difficult to control yourself, even when you're 30-something like me. It was a mistake. I killed her by mistake and then just happened to inherit this amazing power conveniently. And then I bit Scott by mistake.
Accidentally. All these accidents stringing up. I'm just so unfortunate in this life.
And for a while, Derek genuinely believes that, so much so that when Scott eventually confronts the two of them and is like, Peter, Derek, why are you now with Peter? Like, he's the bad guy. Derek's like, no, we don't know everything. Let me explain to you why he's actually been avenging our family. And it's like, Derek, no. I mean, you can't seriously believe this nonsense.
There's also the fact that this is someone who has lost all his family, first by fire and now by butchering and slicing and clawing. This is his only family member left, chronologically at the time, story-wise, we think. So, like, the idea that, well, now I have to kill the only family member I have left for killing the other only family I had left. It must be hard. It must be like, it's a difficult, like, psychological thing to navigate, you know? It's almost the, like... Oh, Cassandra Clare. It's the Jace Wayland Valentine thing. When in the first Mortal Instruments book, Jace finds out that Valentine, the villain that's been purported, who he's never seen by face, I guess, is actually the man who raised him, who is his father from age 10. And it's like, well, I can't go against him now. This is my dad. Yeah, maybe he's making some points, you know?
I can't remember what it is that is eventually the proof that Peter killed Laura intentionally. I can't remember who it is who provides that proof. It slipped out of my head. I don't know if you recall.
I mean, I believe it, so it's okay. I know it to be true, and I also don't know who says it, but I know Peter did it on purpose.
But yeah, once Derek learns that, he's like, okay, yeah, now we all hate Peter. Let's all kill him.
Let's all gang up on this brother and curb stomp him.
It's this unlikely alliance of like Scott, the protagonist, with his best friend Styles, the Argents who are like, yeah, we hate werewolves to varying degrees. We've got Allison who's like, well, I guess some of them are evil. And Chris who's like, most of them are evil. And Kate who's like, tee, I want to kill them all. Genocide, yay. They all face the alpha wolf, but it's initially not him they're fighting. It's actually the Argents and then Derek and Scott like facing each other. And then Peter just shows up and they're like, oh, well, now that you're here.
Yep. Turn our weapons.
I guess you're a common
enemy.
enemy. And Peter, in a moment that I'm like, you know what? He deserves this. I know he was the villain of season 1, but let him have this.
Oh, for sure.
He murders Kate. It's what she deserves. Slashes her throat and is like, yay, I got my vengeance. But then Derek is like, well, speaking of vengeance, you did kill my sister, like the last beloved family member that I had left. And he goes to kill him and Scott's like, wait, Derek, don't. You said the only way for me to go human again somehow involves my alpha. And I really want to be human now since the girl I love is part of this werewolf hunting family. And Derek is like, sorry, no.
Yeah.
Before he kills Peter, Peter's like, I can see it in your eyes. You've already made up your mind. And Derek's like, yes. And then kills him and becomes the new alpha.
Fair. Fair is fair.
Then going into season 2, because Kate has been murdered, Gerard comes to town. Just so much more evil. Just like, I'm going to supposedly, I'm going to wage war to avenge my dead daughter, who only died because she broke the code, honestly. And Derek is like, well, now that the Argents are like gathering forces, gearing up for the ultimate showdown, I need to build myself a little pack. And he's like, hey, Scott, wanna come run with me. And Scott's like, no, actually, I'm
got
trying
school,
to
buddy.
just, I'm dating a huntress on the DL, so I've got to keep a low profile. And I don't want to go to war. And Derek's like, you're boring. I'm going to go find some other impressionable teens.
I don't care if you're asthmatic and neurodivergent. I need you to go to war.
What is wild to me is that even though Derek starts off season 2 in this space of, I need to build a pack, let's ask Scott. Scott says no, I'll look elsewhere. He seems to forget that at the end of season 1, Jackson goes to him and says, you're an alpha now. Please, bite me. Please. He's like, show it to me, Rachel. Show it to me, please.
Show it to me, please.
And he bites Jackson and presumably turns him, because I guess he would have heard if Jackson had not survived the bite, because sometimes one doesn't survive the transformation. It can kill you, which is the risk. But he doesn't go looking for Jackson when he's building a pack. So I guess, Jackson, that says something about how annoying you are. Derek
really
is
does.
desperate for soldiers and didn't go to you.
That's rough. That's rough, buddy.
I guess he saw how bad Jackson was at like slotting into the masquerade, and he's like, if I'm gonna go to war with the Argents, I can't have you running around fighting everyone, showing off, being so obvious about it. It's your problem now. He's like, I'm not gonna mentor you, I'm not gonna warn you to stay clear of the hunters. You know they exist.
In fact, if you die, it'll serve my purposes because you'll take the heat off me.
But of course, as we know, the bite does take just in a weird way and transforms Jackson into the Kanima, which becomes the mystery for season 2. And one of the Kanima's first scenes, I think it actually is the very first scene, is when he pops up into the graveyard, frightens poor Isaac Leahy,
Bless.
who falls into a freshly dug grave. I actually think it's Kate's grave that he's digging. I'm
It is.
sure.
It very much is.
I think it's Kate's.
Because they open on
Small
at Kate's
world.
funeral. It's so funny.
Small world, I guess.
Also, child labor? Jesus Christ. Why is this 16-year-old digging a grave?
At night.
What are we doing?
A school night, no less. Crazy. But I can believe his awful dad would have been like, yeah, you're gonna get a job.
Jay Garrick, it's so unfortunate.
Yeah, I was watching it, I was like, what?
Hold on. I know you.
I was like, Barry Allen's dad?
I was gonna say I don't know his first name. Jeremy Allen.
I was like, maybe you should have been in prison. I don't know.
You know, suddenly I have questions.
But Isaac falls into a grave, like whatever. What's the thing they use to dig holes? That device, that tractor,
A backhoe.
a backhoe. That giant machine is called a backhoe.
Oh no! Like it's got like a little craney thingy, and it's an earth mover.
That's an earth mover. That makes sense now because it moves earth. Oh, okay.
Discoveries live and in real time.
But yeah, the earth mover falls onto the opening of the grave, trapping poor Isaac, who will later learn is claustrophobic, inside. And then Derek pulls it off, eyes glowing red, and is like, need a hand? It's like, oh, okay. Derek is like, yes, I'm the superhero in this story, and I'm giving the gift to a bunch of people.
No, it is a backhoe. Sorry. Yes, I was correct the first time.
Oh, it's called a backhoe?
Yeah.
Okay, well, an earth mover is something else then.
An earth
It's
mover is
Top
much
Bay
bigger,
Farm.
I think. Yeah.
I think he bites him off screen, or maybe tells him about it, and then Isaac comes to him at the end of the episode, because when Gerard is giving his dramatic voiceover to Chris about, I don't care which werewolves I have to kill. It doesn't matter if they're innocent or a murderer or some person who doesn't know what they're getting into, or if they beg for their lives and promise they'll never hurt anyone. I'm going to kill them all.
I'll kill them
and
all.
at the part where he mentions someone who doesn't know what they're getting themselves into, you see Isaac finding Derek in his new dwelling place. Derek is now living in some sort of underground abandoned railway system.
Very odd. Very odd. The Derek Hill real estate chart is an interesting journey. Second of his many abodes.
This is where he'll be for the rest of season 2.
Again, where do you bath? What do you eat? It's always question.
Kate Argent in Hell being like, but if I say he licks himself clean, then I'm the werewolf racist. He, I guess, bites Isaac because Isaac is a victim of abuse. And I can understand why someone like Isaac would be like, yeah, I want the power to be able
easy.
to fight back. in stories like this, supernatural or superpowered, you'll often see some of the people who are like, I'm going looking for superpowers. It's because they are the victims of some sort of physical violence. You see a similar thing in Netflix's Jessica Jones, where Jessica Jones is very jaded. She doesn't mind having her powers, but she's like, I did get them in an accident that killed my family, so I don't love them. They're not associated with good memories for me, and also I don't want to be a superhero because that's cringe. Whereas Trish, her adoptive sister, is like, I'm a victim of physical abuse at the hands of my stage mom. I wish I had superpowers. I want to protect myself and everyone else like me.
To be a hero. How dare you squander this? Oh, Patsy.
So I can understand, even though Scott is like, oh my gosh, Derek, how could you bite someone? The Argents are gearing up for war, and being a werewolf is so hard, and also you're a danger to others and not just yourself. How could you turn him? And Derek's like, I told Isaac everything. I gave him all the information, and I got informed consent. And I'm like, but he's a 16-year-old abuse victim.
Is there such a thing
understand.
as informed consent about lycanthropy from a 16-year-old abused child? The matter of Derek appearing and being like, need help to this kid and then offering the werewolf bite, he knows who Isaac Leahy is. He presumably knows that Isaac Leahy is abused. And so he's targeting Isaac. He's grooming Isaac. He specifically is selecting a child who is on the outside of things, who quote unquote would not be missed if they were suddenly not there all the time and they were suddenly at war in the underbelly of Beacon Hills. It is very sinister for Derek to be doing this.
This is Derek's grooming season. And I will say, like I always point out, grooming in the sinister sense doesn't always need to be sexual or romantic.
No.
But even then, Derek, there are at least 2 scenes, and we'll get to those. We will talk about Erica.
Yeah. We will get there.
But even if Derek hadn't been stalking Isaac or wasn't aware of who he was beforehand, just the fact of being like, I need to pick people who are so desperate to save themselves or have friends or fit in that they won't mind joining my private army. I'm like, Derek, how very US military of you.
Yeah.
Are you going to pay their student loans as well?
Turns out, Derek, picking people who are too desperate to say no is in fact dark-sided. We want you, and you have no choice because your life sucks.
But as you say, he definitely was stalking Isaac, because when Isaac is accused of killing his father, which the Kanema has done, Scott is like, well, it's fine. Isaac says he's innocent. I don't think Isaac is a killer. He'll be okay. And then Derek is like, well, unfortunately, Jackson did tell the police that he's aware that Isaac gets slapped around. Jackson's such an ass. Jackson is like, yeah, his dad's been slapping him around. Everyone knows. And then Sheriff Stilinski's like, did you ever report this or tell anyone? And he's like, no, it's not my problem.
Not my business. It's like, what? You knew he was being abused and said, not my circus, not my monkeys. What?
Just so awful.
Jackson sucks, man.
Also, Isaac supposedly lives down the street from Jackson, but is much poorer than him. I don't know how that works.
How does the real estate prices work in Beacon Hills? It's all just a shit show, apparently.
I guess that's why Isaac needs to be a 16-year-old with a job working in a graveyard to afford to live in Jackson's neighborhood.
Upper East Side Beacon Hills homes.
But the reason I was saying that you were definitely correct is because Derek is like, no, Scott, Isaac won't be okay. The extent of his abuse is actually really deep, and the cops might believe that he's messed up enough to murder his father. And he takes Scott to Isaac's home and shows him that, yeah, I could smell in the air, because scents aren't just about like identifying someone. You can also tell what emotions they had. And I could tell that there was much distress in this household. Lo and behold, we find an empty freezer that Isaac occasionally gets locked in by his father, and he's been like clawing at the inside of it. You can see like the scratch marks of his human nails, because this is all before he was a werewolf.
One of the most distressing things to come out of this show, like genuinely, all the supernatural horror of this show, and that's one of the more horrifying things.
Yeah. It's like, everyone say thank you, Jackson. I guess we're criticizing Jackson for not doing anything. I guess in a way he did do something. But again, Derek is like, Scott, join me. The Argents and their allies are assembling. They're out for blood. And Scott's like, thanks. No thanks.
good.
I have my people. I got my Styles and my Allison. Also, can we please rescue Isaac from jail? Because there's a full moon coming and you've now turned him into a young werewolf. He's going to either get himself killed by the Argents or butcher all the cops in there on his way out.
Yep.
Isaac actually manages to escape on his own. He almost turns on Styles when Styles shows up to help him, but Derek is like, alpha dominance, and makes Isaac submit. And it's like, oh, cool. That's a power you have. All right.
Cool.
I guess you can control your werewolf kids. We meet Erica in the next episode. Erica, my angel. We'll
Love
speak
her.
about you one day, a bit more in depth. I did notice that even pre-turning, she briefly cocks her eyebrow. I was like, oh, the eyebrow thing was always there. When she's about to climb the wall, like her eyebrow, like it briefly twitches up. She was tapping into the power. It just hadn't been awoken
She
yet.
was like dormant, waiting to be unleashed. Cage Golightly, you queen.
But Erica is this unpopular weirdo, I guess, because she has epilepsy and teenagers are unsympathetic.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Like
It's 2012 at this point.
at the school I went into, people were more likely to overcorrect and be too nice to someone who was perceived as like having a disability or whatever. But I guess at this school, they're like, no, haha, it's funny that sometimes she has seizures against her control. I'm like,
Haha, you have a seizure. Was this at your woke Australian school?
no, this was in South Africa.
Oh, wow. No, my school would definitely have been like, not overtly. I went to schools that weren't all, I wouldn't say never, but they typically would go hushed whisper bullying rather than overt direct bullying about the disabled kid.
Oh, I see. But Derek, who I guess has either been spying on her or has heard through the grapevine that she has epilepsy, because apparently one of her seizures has gone viral years before or months before or whatever.
Yeah.
He then comes to her in the hospital. It's so
Derek!
creepy. She's lying in bed. He wheels her out of the room that she's in, takes her to another ward and puts her in a different room. And he's like, oh, hi, what is this? Your epilepsy medication? Look at all these side effects. Oh no, shame, that's so sad. I bet they suck. Wouldn't it be great? Puts his hand on her leg.
Oh, no.
That's her bare leg sticking out of her hospital gown. He's like, wouldn't it be great if I could make all that go away? Puts his other hand on her other leg. And I'm like, Derek, this is a sophomore. What are you doing? You can make your pitch without touching her. Did you touch Isaac this way?
Right.
I doubt it.
Because the only thing, it will not make this good, it'll make it like 1% less bad, is if it's equal opportunity. You better groom with equal opportunity, Derek Hale, or else. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I don't know why the directors, because I don't think the directors wanted it to look creepy. It's supposed to be like the sensual thing. And I'm like, why is it sensual? Because she's the only girl, beta?
Yes, it's
like,
because
why?
the
Does that,
empowerment,
no, it's
right?
so weird.
Empowering Isaac is giving him strength and physicality, like to overpower his dad, who is his biggest op. For Erica, being empowered is becoming sexy, becoming desirable and sensual.
Yes.
And so if this hot, hunky 25-year-old is touching your legs, wouldn't you want that from all the men? I can give you that. He's almost like a pimp, right? It's like, I'm not trying to have sex with you, but I'm trying to show you a world where if I think you're sexy, then a lot of men are gonna think you're sexy. It's really dark.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess he gives her the bite, because the next day she shows up at school with a supernatural, superpowered makeover. Her hair is suddenly brushed.
Right, as we know, lycanthropy volumizes your hair, puts you in a beautiful red lip.
You know, she's got eyeshadow. That eyebrow cock and smirk combination that she has. It's an insane scene. She walks into the cafeteria, walks a few feet looking sexy, takes an apple off someone else's tray,
the
bites
sexiest
into
fruit.
it, looks around at everyone, then turns around and walks back out. And I was like, is that it? Is that your life?
That's all she wanted.
And when Scott and Styles follow her out of the school, they see her leaving with Derek in his car. And I'm like, ugh.
Where
The
are her
visuals.
parents? Being disabled
In the
doesn't mean
middle
you
of the
don't have
school
parents.
day.
What's happening?
Gosh, I was just like, the visual of this teenage girl leaving school in the middle of the day with this adult man
Yep. In his souped up
in
car.
his car.
Gross.
And later on, Scott is like, Erica, who's Derek going to turn next? Because apparently Scott just knows that 2 is not enough for Derek. He's going to need 3. Scott is like, 3 is the magic number. 2 is too asymmetrical.
1 plus him, it's 4. So it makes a nice diamond formation, you know?
Oh, Boyd does appear in this episode.
In this
one. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
he turns 2 in one episode? Yes, because Scott meets Boyd, who I guess is... The writers ran out of ideas. They were like, okay, abuse victim, victim
Bullied,
of
epileptic,
ableism, who's being bullied. And then, I guess a loner with no friends.
Okay, sure, why not? A black loner with no friends.
A black loner with no friends.
I'm giving Derek the benefit of the doubt in that the targeting is racial here, where it's like, doesn't it suck at this fake woke California school where there aren't that many other black people? Wouldn't you want to be part of a pack that doesn't make such divides, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I look kind of ethnically ambiguous. Wouldn't you want to hang? I think Erica's meant to be a white Latina. What's her full name again?
I don't know Erica's surname.
Oh, something in my bones is like she's Erica like Lopez or something. But did you recently watch the scene where they find Boyd?
Where they find Boyd in the cafeteria or at the ice skating rink?
In the cafeteria and the ice skating rink. Because both times he hasn't been bitten yet. He chooses at the end of the episode.
I did.
Is he wearing a fat suit?
I didn't pay attention at the ice rink, but in the cafeteria, it does look like his torso is pudgier.
Right.
In a way that looks fake.
Because
So
I mentioned
maybe?
that in the Allison episode, and I second-guessed myself as I was editing, so I just wanted to make sure I get a second opinion. Because maybe it's just that he's sitting down and he has his hands in the pockets of his hoodie, but to me it feels like they put some extra on to make it like, well, he's a little on the heavier side, and maybe that's why he's a loner, and then when he's a werewolf, he's lean and jacked, you know? Like, that would be his thing then, but for whatever reason, they just don't say it out loud.
I don't think the weight is like the reason he's a loner. I think it's just like, as an added benefit of becoming supernatural, you get to be the beauty standard. Just like Erica is, I guess, seen as a weirdo because of the epilepsy, but then they add to it that she looks physically
also looks
unattractive because
gorgeous.
apparently she can't brush her hair. And she dresses in like sweatpants and a jersey.
I will say, Isaac, I guess the confidence from not being abused anymore, he's certainly mogging at a higher percentage rate, you know? So,
Daniel,
I guess all of that gets to become
for
harder.
someone who's so tall, Daniel Sharman is good at looking scared and helpless.
Yes.
So I think that's why.
For sure.
But the scene in the cafeteria is actually Boyd's only scene where he's not turned, so you can't really see other than that scene, because at the ice skating rink, when they confront them there and there's a scuffle that happens,
He says he's already
afterwards
chosen.
Boyd is like, he's like I've actually already chosen, and Scott is like, no, Derek is just using you as soldiers and guard dogs. And at this point Derek is like, you are now an op, Scott. He fights him, he easily overpowers him. Boyd is like, I don't really like the violence, but I've already made my decision. And as with Erica and Isaac, Derek has explained everything to me. He's explained to me about the changing and the urges and the Argents trying to hunt us, but this is what I want. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah, it's such a, like, because there is an argument to be made that, like, within the text of the story, like, these are characters who should be treated with a bit more agency than the average teen in real life. But I'm just like, the problems that they're facing, even 5 years later, are gonna, in retrospect, seem so much smaller than the lives that they've built in spite of them or around them, that, like, I don't think they would choose this at 20 the way they are at 15, 16.
I mean, even with Erica, who I suppose you could make the argument that maybe if someone wanted to get a supernatural way to just overcome their disability if they truly don't want it, Charles Xavier, looking at you, that they would take it. But I'm like, but if it means that for the rest of your life there's a target on your back,
right?
that people want to kill you,
like, would you choose that if you were old enough to understand the long-term ramifications of that? And frankly, like, and this is not me being like the story, because the story's clearly positioned Scott in the place of like, this is messed up, you guys are being used. So it's like the story understands what it's doing, but it's like Derek presenting the idea that your disability is always going to be a problem for you. It's like, the disability is only a problem because the society it exists in does not accommodate for it. So were Erica to have the accommodations she needed, would she choose lycanthropy? Probably not.
Also, Erica has medication. When she
Right.
goes in to the hospital, Melissa McCall is like, "Oh, Erica, I haven't seen you here in a while. You've gotten so good at taking your meds. What happened?" So it's like, I guess it's that thing that does sometimes happen with medication where a person doesn't want to take it because they're like, "Ugh, but the side effects suck. I don't want to have
It takes away from, yeah.
So now that Derek is finished grooming these people into making the choice to join him, now it's time to just be a sergeant in the military, I guess. And he immediately begins to get abusive. He's like training them.
Yeah.
One thing I must say, something that was really hard not to notice is that Boyd is just like the other one.
Yeah.
It's Isaac who's like the main one, then Erica number 2. And sometimes Boyd just isn't around for some reason. Like it's just Derek didn't need 2 betas for that thing. And I'm like, Scott, maybe you were wrong. Maybe he didn't need 3.
Maybe he didn't need 3 and he's just really like covering his bases. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's only in Isaac defecting at some point during the season that Boyd becomes more prominent because Erica needs a tag team partner. So yeah. It sucks that like even on MTV, even with a gay showrunner, even in a show set in California, black characters still don't get their due, right? Well, I don't know if we mentioned it on the pod as yet, but do you remember our lovely friend and I talking about a character in the pilot episode of Teen Wolf who is a black girl? You see her in the first episode of the show and then once again in the first season, and then I don't think you ever see her again in the show, who was meant to be one of a trio of main characters in Teen Wolf. It's Scott, it's Styles, and this girl who they like, her and Styles have a conversation, like a lengthy conversation about events that are happening. And then for whatever reason, between the pilot and shooting the first season, they dropped her. I say for whatever reason, it's for the reason I'm talking about. There is also a black girlie in season 2 and in one episode in season 3. Then this is a fat black character, a fat black girl who's there to do like comedic zings. I think someone is going to speak to the guidance counselor at some point, and in a moment of like supernatural shenaniganry, she responds with, "You need her more than me," and then walks out of the room. And it's like, okay, well, cool. I guess we get comedic relief for a scene, and we get least important beta.
She's also there earlier when Styles' childhood friend is the first virgin sacrifice.
Yes, because she's besties with her at the party.
She was her bestie.
Yeah. So, you know, I think it bears mentioning.
And I will say, Teen Wolf, never a black main character, because I don't think Mason is ever in the opening credits. He's the closest we get.
No. Very unfortunate. And of the new B squad, obviously Liam is the central one.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that like Mason comes into the Styles position of the new group.
The best black friend.
Will never reach the level of popularity that Styles did.
And the crazy thing is Liam has a black dad. I'm like, why is Liam not a person of color?
Why? It makes no sense. Fully no sense. And Mason has a plot important thing about him, but it's purely incidental. It has nothing to do with him as a character. It's just a plot twist. It sucks. And then after that, they don't know what to do with him.
I can understand them being like, because we're bringing in this like, your brain is already predisposed to violent rages thing. How does that affect you as a new wolf thing? They were like, let's not make him a black man.
Black guy.
Fine.
Yeah.
Did he need to be white? There's many races that aren't black and white. And I feel like Hollywood often does this thing where they make an excuse. And whenever they're like, a character can't be race A, they must be race B, which is white. And it's like, there are race is a social construct and there's so many flavors.
Frankly, with a Latina lead, it's like strange to just be like, and his successor will be white. It's just like, okay, we couldn't even like stick a foot to the left. You guys are still like treat white Latinos as effectively white people. Let's just pivot a little bit to stay on course.
And we've got Deaton and his sister, I think her name is Morel.
Yes.
And Brayden like floating in the background, but they're never
support,
unfortunately.
They're to be spoken to as the, unfortunately, if we're gonna keep it 100 on this matter, magical Negroes.
Well, not so much Brayden, I guess.
Not so much Brayden. Brayden is an interesting diversion, and I wish she had a lot more going on in the season, but she was refreshing.
We'll get to Brayden.
Yeah.
But so Derek begins to train his betas. Most of the scenes involve mainly Erica and Isaac being trained, while Boyd literally just sits there watching. I don't know why.
Yeah.
We see him snapping Isaac's arm for no good reason, because Isaac is like, let's take a break. I'm tired. I need a chance to heal. I broke about 110 bones. And then Derek snaps his arm and he's like, there, now it's 111. It's like, why?
Okay.
And then he's like, oh, you guys are disappointing me. Erica's like, let me shift tactics, leaps on Derek and starts making out with him, I guess, as a distraction move. Derek lets this happen for a few seconds,
I'll cry.
kisses her back because on TV, kissing is a reflex, and then throws her off him and is like, that's the last time you're going to do that. And I was like, why did you let her do it at all, Derek?
It seems like the first time was already bad enough. She is a minor, Derek, and you definitely aren't.
Derek is like, yeah, remember how I told you about the turning and the hunters? Well, that's not the only danger. We've got some lizard creature out there killing people, so that's also an issue. We need to be battle ready. So later on in that episode, there's another scene that Boyd is just conspicuously absent from. I think Isaac is dealing with something else. We do see Isaac dealing with something. But Erica goes with Derek and they meet up with Styles in the natatorium where the Kanima attacks them. The Kanima just tosses Erica aside and then she's just not in the fight for like the rest of the episode. I don't know whether it paralyzed her. We just don't see her until it's done. But Derek has to tread water with Styles for a long time until Scott shows up and saves them by scaring off the Kanima with its own reflection.
Because the Kanima's afraid of water, yes.
It's hydrophobia. And Scott is like, okay, well, the Argents also want to stop the Kanima. Should we maybe work with them? And Derek's like, no, I'm going to kill it myself. Thanks, though.
Kind of you.
Then Derek, who I guess he's more open than we thought, he quickly starts to suspect Jackson because he's like, I've been seeing Jackson walking around looking even sicker than last year. He's leaking black ooze. Looks like the bite hasn't taken. Maybe he's this creature. Sends Erica and Isaac to bring Jackson to him. Doesn't send Boyd.
Yeah. Why would you?
And I'm like,
it's not like he's the tallest or the strongest or the most reasonable and level-headed of this trio. Why would you send him to do anything?
Boyd literally joins because he was a loner, and then he's constantly sidelined and not allowed to participate in missions.
So crazy.
But Jackson's like, well, my lycanthropy didn't work. Here's a video, which at this point Jackson is lying because he does know the video was edited.
Was cut,
Matt has already told him that. But he's like, here's a video showing that I didn't turn. And Derek's like, I don't want to watch the video. Here's some Kanima venom that I caught from a shot of glass the other day. I'm going to force it into you and see if it paralyzes you. And if it doesn't, it's because you're the Kanima, because you're immune to your own venom. And then it paralyzes Jackson. He's like, oh, well, guess I was
never
wrong.
mind.
Then he's like, okay, on to the next one. Isaac, Erica, could you slip Lydia some Kanima venom? Because she was bitten by Peter last season and something's going on with her. And when the venom doesn't paralyze Lydia, which we know is because of what will eventually be revealed to be her banshee immunity, Derek's like, well, guess I have to kill her.
Just like, okay. No scientific process to this assumption, but far be it from me, Derek. You're doing great so far.
He's like, listen, snakes are immune to their own venom, so she's immune, she's the Kanima. And Scott and Styles are like, we don't know that it's her, and even if it is, that doesn't mean we have to kill her. And Derek is like, A, she's killing people, and don't you always get your panties in a twist about that, Scott?
Okay.
And B, she is putting a target on all our backs because now the Argents are all in a tizzy over these supernatural murders. She needs to die. I think at the end of the episode, we do realize that Jackson is indeed the Kanima because we get to see some video footage that Danny is politely looking away from because he promised not to watch it, where we see Jackson with his lizard eyes.
They said we're never getting the predatory gay allegations. Thank you very much.
But it's insane because in this episode, Derek goes with his betas to Scott's house to go and kill Lydia. Scott has sent Lydia off with Allison and Styles and Jackson, who's also helping, to like hide her away because Jackson doesn't know he's the Kanima. And Derek just shows up with Boyd and Erica and Isaac and he's like, yeah, we're here to kill her. And this is not the Vampire Diaries, guys. You don't need an invite to get in. So Derek sends in his agents to get her. Of course, he only sends in Isaac and Erica.
Jesus
Boyd
Christ.
waits outside with him.
Derek, are you racist? Is that what I'm learning live? That's gonna be crazy next season, just by the way, but okay.
In the chaos, Jackson transforms into the Kanama and runs off. And when Scott shows up and helps Allison defeat Erica and Isaac, Derek is like, Scott, you are a figurative alpha of your own pack. Boyd is just flanking him, not doing anything.
I see now why you wouldn't join me.
And they see the Kanama slip away, and Scott is like, oh, so it is Jackson. So in the next episode, Derek chases after the Kanama with Scott and Styles hot on their tails. He confronts it under a bridge, and the Kanama gets the upper hand, but he's saved when the Argents show up. So Chris shoots the Anima, Derek gets away, but he manages to watch from the shadows, I guess, and sees that the Kanama is surprisingly docile in front of Gerard. Mm-hmm. He's just like, oh, hello. And Derek is like, what's that about?
Right, okay. Reaches up a hand like they're dancing the dance of no touch. Mm-hmm. The simple intimacy of the near touch.
The simple intimacy of the near touch.
Really cute.
But at this point, Derek is like, well, I know the Kanama is Jackson, so sorry to Lydia, but I guess Jackson has to die now. And Styles is like, I mean, I don't like Jackson. Maybe we should let Derek kill him. I don't know. And Scott is like, no.
That's crazy.
We need to help Jackson. We're not going to kill him. He's probably not in control. He doesn't know what he's doing. And Derek's like, okay, you do that. If I get to him first, I'm killing him.
Yeah.
Eventually, at the gay club, when the Kanama is paralyzing everyone on the dance floor, Derek shows up and, ignoring Scott's protests, slashes the Kanama's throat. And the Kanama's like, I'm injured. Let me run away and revert to Jackson form. In the next episode, Derek speaks to his two favorite betas. Boyd is absent. He's like, Isaac, Erica, come over here. And he's like, okay, someone needs to get on the good side of Scott and co. Because I've realized we probably can't defeat the Kanama alone. I slashed his throat and it just came back. Chris Argent riddled it with bullets and it got up and walked away. So, I guess one of you needs to wiggle your way in there. And Erica's like, I'll do it. I'm super thirsty for Scott and Style.
I'm ready for any man. Let me do it. Let me at him, coach.
And Isaac is like, oh, Derek, you're supposed to be training us. This is supposed to be about cool wolf powers, not being bounty hunters or whatever. And you're going to be alone against the Argents if you lock us up for the upcoming full moon. And Derek is like, the Kanama is the priority. I don't really care about the Argents right now. And you guys are too young. You will be a liability. You have to get locked up. Also, I suspect Gerard is up to something because I saw him with the Kanama and there was a weird sense of calm between the two of them. We need to find the Kanama first. Oh, wait, no, I was wrong. He doesn't know Jackson is the Kanama at this point. He's just whoever the Kanama is, it needs to die. I think Scott and co do know, and that's why they're like, we can't let Derek get to him. Because it's in this episode where Erica learns the Kanama is Jackson. And so obviously she goes and tells Derek, and Derek's like, this changes nothing. He will die.
Real.
Erica gets paralyzed by the Kanama, which for some reason triggers a seizure in her. Yeah. And they're like, we have to get her to the hospital. And she's like, no, take me to Derek. So I'm like, oh, the grooming is complete. She trusts him more than anyone now.
I guess because it's the full moon.
And I guess she knew that Derek would know what to do. He breaks her arm to trigger her healing.
Yeah.
And then squeezes the venom out of her. And that's how he's able to help her. At the end of the episode, Derek does reveal that he's like, I had already deduced that Jackson was the Kanama. I just needed Erica to confirm it. She's been my useful little spy. Derek, good at figuring out who people are, but not so good at using that information well.
At all, frankly. It's like, if you knew, then why haven't you gone to his house in his sleep and slashed his throat?
And Scott is like, I will work with you. We can join teams, but then we are going to stop the Kanama, catch it, and not kill it. And Derek's like, I'll get back to you on that. In the next episode, he's like, actually, no, I've decided I still want to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fair.
But they go and ask Deaton for some help. And Deaton's like, I'm not going to kill Jackson. We just need to figure out who his master is. So then that becomes the new, whodunit. They're like, who is the Kanama's master? Because now we realize it's being controlled. And even in this era where Derek knows for a fact that Jackson is not in control of his actions, he's like, I'll still kill him if I get the chance. If that's what it comes to.
Derek!
So later on, Derek finally utilizes Boyd. I guess Erica and Isaac are busy in this episode doing something else. I can't remember.
They've got midterms.
He brings Boyd with him to confront Chris Argent and his men as they go off with the intention of killing Jackson. Boyd gets injured by these Wolfsbane bullets, and Derek's like, okay, you go off to safety. I'll deal with them. So even in this moment, Boyd doesn't get to enjoy his screen time.
I get to use his powers at all. Your Honor? Please.
Oh yes, Erica and Isaac were with Styles because they were doing some like mountain ash stuff. Oh, I think it's because he was containing them for the full moon or something. I'm not sure. I'm getting my wires crossed. It might be later, but there is a scene in which it's a nice scene in which he's like struggling with his betas. He has to chain all of them up, and then Isaac ends up getting away, and he's like, "Oh damn it, I'm dealing with Boyd and Erica right now." And then Boyd slips off, and then Isaac like drags him back, showing that he's regained control. And it's like, "Oh, Isaac,
Big growth
my
for
trusty
Isaac.
lieutenant. Okay, my new favorite child."
I would never believe that Isaac could drag Boyd anywhere, but for the story, it's fine.
I guess he's like older than Boyd in werewolf years, but like one day.
A day.
But episode 8 is the one in which Derek has to save Scott from Victoria Argent, who's killing him.
Yeah.
And he's like, scuffle, scuffle, bite.
Yeah.
And infects her.
I mean, you only have so many tools available to you as a werewolf. Who am I to... Of all the things he's done this season, least egregious, as far as I'm concerned.
But this, of course, as we discussed in the Allison episode, leads to Victoria, I guess, needing to kill herself.
Ritual
Because
sacrifice.
Hunter code.
By the code, I must commit Hunter seppuku. It's like,
But Derek doesn't feel bad for that. What he does feel bad for going forward is the whole Jackson's the Kanama thing, because he's like, it is my bite that turned him into the Kanama. In the episode in which they deal with the full moon and he locks them up, he does have this interesting conversation with his betas, I guess teaching them about the culture. And he's like, any werewolf can rise or fall to one of the 3 ranks, alpha, beta, or omega. Scott is an alpha right now, but Scott is with us. So, I guess we're all in this together. He interestingly says that Erica needs a special restraint, the one that like is screwed into her head because she'll apparently be stronger and more ferocious than them. And I'm like, because she's a girl? Okay, I'll take it.
I'll take it. Listen, she's got that ferocity. She's got that wolf in her.
It's also in this episode that he teaches them about needing an anchor, because Isaac is like, how come you can resist the full moon? And Derek's like, well, I use an anchor to control myself. My anchor is anger.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be that for everyone.
No. I absolutely understand that. He has a very, even if Derek is not someone who can be reasoned with just because he's so single-mindedly focused on a task, he's not off the handle.
Mm-hmm.
He rarely has anger that's like directionless or unable to be contained. He just picks a target and charges. And the fact that he can pick a target in that anger and be like, I'm going to use this to my benefit, I do buy that anger is his anchor.
And we'll later on learn that he was taught that by Uncle Peter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of course he was. But when Isaac manages to become lucid and help him restrain Boyd, he's like, oh, what anchor did you use? And he was like, I thought of my father. And Derek's like, the father that used to lock you in a freezer? And Isaac says, he didn't always. And I'm like, oh okay. Well, that's kind of sad. But
Jesus Christ.
But in the background of season 2, Lydia is being haunted by Peter's ghost. So it's around this time that she shows up unexpectedly, knocks Derek out, drags him to the ruins of the Hale house, and forces him to use his power to resurrect Peter.
I knew it was in this era. I just couldn't remember what it was, because I remember him getting her to drug a whole party. And then I guess with her banshee strength, she got him all the way there.
Mm-hmm. As soon as Peter comes back, he's back to trying to like pull the strings. He's like, Derek, I'm not your enemy. Let me try and manipulate you into trusting me in the fight against Gerard. That's our real enemy. And Derek's like, I don't trust anyone. And I'm like, wild that you've built your little teen army, but you don't trust anyone. In the wake of Victoria Argent's death, Gerard pushes Allison to seek revenge against Derek. So then that becomes this massive target on his back. So he's dealing with unruly betas. His evil uncle is back from the dead. The Kanama he accidentally created is killing everyone. And now Allison wants him dead.
Derek's no good, all bad, very frustrating day.
Season 2 is truly his era of just failing and being an alpha. He becomes the alpha, and it's such a flop. He is
the worst, and everything is the worst.
It's his flop album. The sales were not what he expected them to be. The tickets for the world tour didn't sell.
He's in the werewolf asylum. He's in Icon House.
Eventually, we figure out who the master is. It's Matt, the photographer. Remember him? He became a character this season.
He wears that little stripy shirt like Waldo.
And Derek is very underwhelmed. He's like, this is the big bad? This is the cannabis master. There's that whole hostage situation at the sheriff's station where Allison is like, yeah, I'm not really worrying about the Kanama. I'm here to kill Derek, and I'll kill his betas too if they get in my way.
Right.
Matt starts turning into a Kanama, which freaks him out. That briefly becomes like a little issue, but not for too long because I think Matt dies at the end of that episode.
Yeah.
He's drowned
Gerard
by
drowns
Gerard. Strong grandpa drowns him.
Awful.
So then, yeah, Gerard becomes the new master of the Kanama, which ties into Derek being suspicious of this connection that he briefly seemed to have. So then Derek is like, okay, well, we gotta hide from the Argents because they're getting more and more dangerous and brazen with their gunfire and I guess arrow fire. And then Gerard shows up to Scott and is like, the Kanama's under my control. I want Derek and his pack or I'll kill your mom. By this point, Erica and Boyd are like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, this isn't really shaping up to what we wanted, so...
This is, kind of crazy. We're gonna leave town because we don't want to die in this war with the Argents. And Derek is like, okay, I did tell you that this was gonna happen. I tried to warn you, but
okay, Derek.
if you want to go. And they're like, we've been hearing other werewolves in the distance. We think there might be another pack that we can join. And Derek's like, don't be silly. There are no other packs in this show. There are no packs in California. You'd have to travel to Mystic Falls or Forks, Washington to find more werewolves.
It is strange that Derek does seem to think it's odd that there would be other packs in the area. There's no wolves in Southern California. It's like, oh, well, I guess we're worried about taxonomy now. All right.
And he's like, even if there are wolves, it could have just been two. It's something called the Beaugest effect, where two wolves can just like modulate their howls and they'll sound like 20. But you can go. You can go if you want to. I still have Isaac. Isaac is slowly slipping away because he's like, wow, Scott's actually really nice to his friends. He doesn't just use them as child soldiers. Am I working for the baddie?
He doesn't just tear their bones apart to prove a point. Hi, Scott. How you living?
And meanwhile, Peter is like hovering in the background being like, my nephew, I know what it's like to fail at being an alpha, and you are failing.
Crazy.
Eventually, Peter gives Derek dramatic speeches about how he's losing the war against Gerard and needs his help. He's like, I think you can stop Jackson without killing him. We have to use his bond with Lydia. Wild emotional intelligence from Peter here to be the one that's like, yeah, true love will kill the Kanama.
Yeah, it's crazy. Peter strikes me as, this is not my medical opinion because I'm not a medical professional, but he's written very, is it sociopath? Where it's like, I understand human emotion, which is why I can sometimes mimic it, but I do not experience it. Not the way that you do. I'm very different.
Perhaps. He even tells Derek, wild since he's the one who started Derek on this path, we will later learn, but he's like, Derek, your best ally has always been anger, but what you lack is heart. Oh. And that's why you need Scott, Derek, because Scott McCall understands the power of human love. And I was like, oh,
Peter Hale, true romantic.
Not the serial killer, mass murderer telling me that I don't understand human connection.
Peter Hale said, I have some literature for you to read about the indomitable human spirit. Are you interested?
That would have been my 13th reason, I swear.
Oh, God.
But this is what leads Derek to be like, okay, Scott and co, Peter's alive, surprise, but I know how to stop Jackson. And also I know that Scott is in cahoots with Gerard because I overheard a conversation they had the other day in the sheriff's station. But it's okay. I'm not angry. We're all in this together. We're going to work together. Later on, they learn that the Kanama is only in its beta form. There's a scene where Peter and Derek look at this image on the internet that we don't get to see of what the Kanama can become. And they're like, oh, it has wings. It's terrifying. Let's see it in motion and play the video. Oh my gosh, that's even more horrifying. So then Derek shifts again, just ambivalent Derek this season. He's like, actually, no, maybe we should kill Jackson if we get the chance. It might be too dangerous. At this point, Isaac and Chris are like fully on Scott's side because Chris is like, yeah, my dad is even more evil than my sister. And Isaac is like, Derek kind of, what is the thing? I always say Old Yeller. It's the other one.
White Wolf.
Where you're like, get out of here. Go on. Get.
Yeah, Derek White Wolfed him.
Derek White Wolf. Or if he doesn't do it now, he does it in season 3. But he starts to like push Isaac away into Scott's waiting arms, I guess. Eventually, Gerard reveals his master plan to force Derek to turn him in order to cure his cancer that he's currently dying of. And it's like, yeah, it was never about Kate. It was always about me becoming a werewolf so that I guess I can live forever or longer. And even though in the season of grooming, Gerard has been grooming Allison, he immediately uses the Kanama to threaten Allison. It's like, Scott, bring Derek to me and make him bite me or I'll kill your little girlfriend. But of course, Scott reveals his Mountain Ash Gambit, and Derek's bite is rejected by Gerard's body.
Gotta do it.
And he starts to die. And Derek is like, oh, Scott, that was a brilliant plan. Why didn't you tell me? And Scott is like, you might be an alpha, but you're not my alpha.
Scott McCall.
And somehow this ritual of turning Jackson back into himself doesn't just involve Lydia's love. Once he started to like power down, Peter and Derek rush him and stab him with their claws.
With the claws of two alphas.
Somehow that completes the process of curing him. And so Jackson becomes a proper beta wolf. But sadly, in the stinger, the end of the season, Erica and Boyd encounter the Alpha Pack. Peter and Derek speak to Isaac at the Hale shack. So I guess Isaac is still with them. He's just been also bouncing around. And they're like, yeah, there's this whole pack of alphas that are coming to town. And Peter's like, coming to town?
They're already here. Funny.
And that becomes the contention for season 3, as we have the Alpha Pack versus the Derek. Derek. I always say it wrong.
You do say Derek, and is it because of Derek, maybe?
I don't know.
The
Derek who's sacrificing people, and again, it's a murder mystery. It's like, who's killing people? Is it Derek? And Derek's like, not me. And they're like, okay, so it must be this Alpha Pack. And once we meet the Alpha Pack, who are brought in pretty quickly, they're like, no, it's not us.
Not us.
We will happily kill people, but we have our own agenda. We are not murdering virgins and philosophers and whatever the heck else.
They're here because, do they consider Derek for a hot second to like join their Alpha Pack because they heard there was an Alpha in town?
They claim that they're here for Derek because Peter warns Derek that whenever a new Alpha rises, the Alpha Pack will show up to like be like, here's our offer.
Slaughter your entire pack to gain power and join us, or we'll kill you and your entire pack.
Yes. But later on, we learn that is a lie, and actually, Deucalion wants Scott, because this is the season where we learn that Scott is becoming a true alpha.
Yeah.
Someone who earns the power and doesn't need to steal it or murder someone else in order to ascend. And so I think Deucalion's master plan is to either push Scott to join, because the thing is, they'll talk about Scott's pack, but technically in terms of actual werewolves, Scott doesn't have any betas.
Yeah.
Styles, Lydia, Allison, they're all non-wolves. So I think Deucalion's plan is to force Scott to realize that Derek is gonna have to just kill off his actual werewolf betas in order to join, unless I step up and take the position. And or he hopes that after he gets Derek to join, he doesn't really care either way, but after he gets Derek to join, Derek will be like, Scott, it's fun on the other side. Jump in, the water's warm.
What a plan, buddy.
But this season does see the end of our beloved Erica pretty quickly on. She dies before the start of the season because once we locate her and Boyd
off screen in the flashback. Like she's in the flashback, and then within the flashback off screen she dies. It's crazy. They like cut between shots of the combat, and then suddenly she's on the ground. It is Kali who kills her, right?
I think so, yeah, because she tries to go up against Kali, and Kali easily defeats her. Eventually, they are able to find Boyd and Erica's replacement, who is Cora Hale, Derek's long-lost sister, who totally existed before this season. Didn't we mention to you that he had a little sister?
She was here the whole time.
And Derek is like, I thought you were dead. And she's like, yeah, I thought you were dead too, girl.
Wild. No further questions, Your Honor.
She's just like, I heard there was a new Hale alpha that rose in town, and then you didn't come find me, and I was upset. And it's like, really? She thought you were dead. She's apparently been in South America all this time. Don't know what she was doing there. This is why the Hales are vaguely Latin coded.
They're just always going to South America for some reason.
We'll later on learn that Derek is fluent in Espanol. It's like, what are you, Derek?
What name did they give
to
him?
quote Lydia, I'm something.
What Styles gives, is his cousin Miguel? Is that the name they give him?
Miguel. Yeah, it's like, this is my cousin Miguel.
It's just like Styles apparently thinks they're Latino, so I don't know.
What else happens in season 3? There's a lot that goes on in season 3 because obviously
most prominently
Miss
the
Blake,
new
actress of
teacher.
note,
Yeah, Miss Blake
is killing people in the background. What is crazy about the Jennifer thing is that her little dalliance with Derek lasts a handful of episodes, but going forward, she and the people who are working against her will treat it like it was this deep thing. Like she's
True
like,
love.
Derek and I had this connection, and everyone who doesn't like her is like, Derek, how could you let that evil serpent into your bed? And it's like, what?
That's so funny. It is crazy that, like, in the story, it's funny. We were talking about it last episode about Scott and Allison and the development of their romance. That's kind of what it's giving for Derek in season 3. It's kind of a reset for his life after, like, so much time spent being, like, reluctant mentor, so much time spent being minor antagonist, all that left behind, and now he's in protagonist position again, right? He's a werewolf, he's an alpha in season 3, and the ops are out to get him, so he thinks, and suddenly this new teacher at the school, who I believe he rescues from some danger, and then a romance develops, and he has his relationship, like, very quietly but quickly happening in the background.
Brief. It's
and
so
there's this
brief.
sweeping scene, because he's trying to resist, like, the obvious attraction and chemistry, and then there's that scene outside the school where, like, the wind is going and the leaves are flying and they have this passionate kiss, and it's like, oh, good for you, Derek, I guess.
There's a wild bookend that I'll thread to the end of the season, was Derek first runs into Jennifer because Cora and Boyd, after being rescued, are feral because it's their first full moon, because they've been locked up without
love
access to
that
moonlight.
episode.
So Scott locks them in the boiler room of the school, and then Scott is like, wait, there's someone else in there. So Derek goes in and has to, like, hold them off, and the sun's about to rise, so he just has to hold them back for a few seconds, and they're, like, slashing at him, but he's like taking the
holding
hits
them
as they
up.
come, and he saves Jennifer. So he then speaks to Jennifer, like, a little bit later, another episode, and she's like, no, I'm not going to tell anyone, don't worry. And he's like, no, I'm not a threat to you, girl. It's all good. It's all fine. And then I can't remember what it is. He gets injured at a certain point in the season. And again, I guess everyone's like, well, I guess Derek's dead. We haven't seen him for a while.
Meanwhile, he has, for whatever reason, gone to Jennifer for assistance, even though there are a number of other people who could help him.
And she takes him to his loft, where I guess he's finally bought some real estate. He now has a real house. He's not living...
New abode for Derek Hale. It is a nice apartment. It's very lofty, as you say, exposed brick and piping. Not quite my style, but very chic, you know?
I guess she nurses him back to health or stays with him while he recovers, and this, like, deepens their bond.
While he's hot and bandaged.
this deepens the bond that everyone will, like, hold against him forevermore.
It's like, how was he supposed to know? This very sweet-seeming woman with a great head on her shoulders was an evil druid sacrificing people.
But unbeknownst to Derek, their bond actually goes way back, because we see a flashback episode to when Derek was a teenager, open brackets, question mark, close brackets. We don't know. This is the thing about the Hales. It's vague, but it's vague in a way that it's like, I think you guys didn't have an answer in your minds either, because it doesn't make sense. It's giving when a werewolf is wounded by silver, it heals.
It heals.
Because when Cora enters the story and sees that her evil Uncle Peter is alive, Peter is like, I've known you for 17 years, Cora, which is implied to be her whole life.
Because she's supposed to be proximal with the teen characters of the show, yeah.
But later on, when she tells Styles that she's 17, she's like, well, the way that you would count in years. It's like, now what does that mean?
I feel, to me, in that moment, I read that as a bit. I don't know if that's as important to the canon as what Peter said, because it's just a funny... In that moment, Styles is joking about how weird werewolves are.
I mean, he's frustrated with her answer, so she seemed to be, what is it, /SRS?
/SRS,
Jen.
Sure.
Because when Styles was like, wait, so Derek was a sophomore, how old was he? How old is he now? How old are you, Peter? Peter's like, Derek and I were...
Older than we were, whatever, but younger than we wanted to be. And it's like, give me a number.
He's like, older than we could have been, but not as young as you might think. And I was like, what?
Now I actually think that it's lampshading on the writer's part, so that they don't have to give an answer because they have not been very clear. They're like, don't worry about it. I like it 50% because it's a funny way to draw attention to it, but I don't like it because I want clear answers about age, especially when these characters are so proximal.
You and me both. But we learned that Derek, once upon a time in his younger years, loved a human girl named Paige. Also, it's this cute thing where Derek was an athlete too, but he played basketball, not lacrosse, as like a nod towards the original Teen Wolf film starring Michael J. Fox, where he is a basketballer.
I love when a short white boy plays basketball and is the star.
Get your head in the game. What team? Wildcats.
At least it makes sense here because he's a lycanthrope. Troy Bolton, where was your magic coming from?
But Peter tells the story to, I think, to Lydia and Allison. I'm not sure who he tells the story to, but he's lying through his teeth. He lies that, oh no, Derek was so in love with this girl that he decided he wanted her to live forever with him as a werewolf. Or something like that. It's weirdly, they treat it like it's this vampire romance, as in like, I need to turn you so we can be together. And it's like, don't you age at a fairly human rate? I think
commensurate
you could
rate
have
to
been with her.
humans. Yeah, there's no reason for the. I guess in case you'll move for safety, or in case you need to worry about injuring her. I don't know. He seemed pretty secure.
It is also shown that he struggled with control, and Peter was like, oh, hold this Triskelion and repeat the alpha, beta, omega mantra, and if that doesn't work, just keep getting angry and channel that. I'll criticize you for it in a few years, but for now, anger works. But Peter tells the story as like, no, I tried to stop him.
Unreliable narration.
I was like, oh no, Derek, that's not a good idea. Meanwhile, he's the one who was like, hey, Derek, what if you got an alpha to bite your little girlfriend and turn her into a werewolf for you? Wouldn't that be great? And so Derek goes to the absorbing man, Ennis, one of the people who will eventually become the big guy in the alpha pack. Actually, I'm not even sure if Derek goes to him or if he says Peter can go. He gives Peter the okay
to
find
sort it
alpha.
out. Yeah.
Because when Derek sees Ennis in the hallway approaching Paige, he looks a bit worried. And he's like, wait, maybe I'm having second thoughts. But net result is the same. She gets bitten. The bite doesn't take. She starts dying. And he takes her to this cellar underneath the roots of a tree, the Nematon.
That's crazy.
And she's like, please, mercy, kill me, my love. And he's like, okay, and snaps her neck. And unbeknownst to Derek, this was enough to give a little spark back to this tree that likes sacrifices, because Paige was a virgin. And therefore that counted as a virgin sacrifice. Apparently you can sacrifice someone unintentionally, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the energy's just sitting there. If you're not going to use it, then I, Jennifer Blake, the Rock, I'm going to snatch it up. I'm not wasteful.
And this ties into, as you said, the Alpha Pack's MO is to be like, find an alpha that you want, tell them to kill all their betas, and then join you. But betas, I guess, also includes your druid emissaries, because Kali had Jennifer, whose real name we later on learn is Julia Bakari.
Yep.
Jennifer Blake is just a
pseudonym,
an alias. She's like, oh, I picked a name with the same initials. Didn't even realize. They say subconsciously you pick a name that's close to your real name because it's tied to your identity.
So you respond.
But as she lay dying, because Kali was like, she's probably gonna bleed out.
It's fine. I don't have to do the final blow.
Kali's reasoning is insane. I always thought Kali just didn't have it in her to really kill her, which is wild when you've mauled someone as viciously as she did.
Yeah.
But Kali says, no, I left her there knowing she was alive, but thinking she'd eventually bleed out because I wanted to give her a more peaceful death. And I'm like,
what?
You've already mauled her. It's not peaceful if she bleeds out rather than you slashing her throat and killing her all at once.
Just
if anything,
clarify,
killing her quickly would have been better.
The reason she looks like Swiss cheese is because of how much you slashed her up. Like, what kind of peace do you think she was getting? Jesus.
Just insane. Yeah, as Jennifer lay dying, she crawled to the Nematon and was like, maybe there's some power left. And there was, because Derek had killed his girlfriend Paige a few months before. And that's how she was able to save herself.
Played by the girl who plays Little Arrow in Arrow. What's her name?
Yes, her name is Evelyn Sharp.
No, but the character, the superhero.
She takes the code name Artemis.
Yes.
Well, she calls herself Artemis, I guess, as a reference to Young Justice. But her character is named Evelyn Sharp.
Yes. She, the girl who played Artemis in Arrow. I love her features. I don't know what it is about her. It's just very pleasing.
But that's the thing that threads Jennifer and Derek together. And she is aware of this, which is maybe why she set her sights on him. But eventually, I guess she gets caught by Scott and Co. as she's about to kill Lydia. Well, she gets caught by Scott and Co. and Sheriff Stilinski as she's about to kill Lydia. And she runs off. And she runs all the way to Derek's loft. And she's like, Derek, I have to speak to you quickly before your little teenage friends come to you with their lies. And Derek is like, well, actually, they're already here.
Yeah.
So
Sucks to suck.
I'm gonna kill you now. And then she's like, well, actually, no, you can't kill me because Cora is dying and I'm the only one who can save her. I still don't understand why Cora was dying. She was in a fight with one of the twins, I think Aiden.
Yes.
He whacked her over the head with a weight in the gym. And then I guess the head injury took a while to recover, but then she started like coughing up the black stuff. And I was like, but why is she now dying? You can't heal from a traumatic brain injury? Like, was
it not like one of these many substances? Wolfsbane, Monk's Hood, something like that, Mountain Ash?
I can't remember. Iron sulfite, all the things that hurt
know?
the secret circle.
All the things. There's always things. I had presumed that was it.
I can't remember.
If not, then that's, yeah.
I might have been watching too quickly, but it just seemed like she was injured from her fight with Aiden, and then all of a sudden she was like dying, and Jennifer was like, I can save her, but only if you protect me from the Alpha Pack. At this point, Ennis is dead, but Ethan and Aiden are still running around, and Deucalion and Callie are like coming for her, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna kill her now.
Yep.
Kill her properly this time, Callie.
Let's make sure it's done, god damn it.
So Jennifer has to play keep away with herself in the hospital, running around, forcing Derek to protect her, because she's like, I've only done 12 of my sacrifices. I don't yet have enough power to face them. I need you to back me up, Derek. Please, they're monsters. They wanted you to kill off your betas as well so that you could join them, which is why Derek has white wolfed Isaac. He's like, yeah, go away. Weirdly, he tells Isaac that, and again, Boyd gets ignored.
Yeah.
He tells Isaac that you need to move out of my loft where Isaac has been staying, because with Cora here, there's just no room for the two of you. And I guess because Boyd has a home,
it's like,
whereas Isaac is an orphan.
I'll go to my loving family, I guess. I don't know. The point makes no sense now.
So being evicted from the loft somehow means Isaac has been kicked out of Derek's pack. And so he moves in with Scott and like joins Scott's pack.
Yeah, it's symbolic.
And then Boyd he's very rarely around until the day that he dies.
Yeah.
when Kali shows up with the twins, and the twins like hold Derek's claws up as Kali impales Boyd on them, and she's like, there, you killed one of your betas. Wasn't that
problem
fun?
Solved? Now you can stop making such a big deal about it. God damn it. The fact that Boyd is just sacrificed for this sake after whatever, another day.
And just forgotten about. And Kali's like, I'll be back next month for you and I to have a 1v1 fight. And if you lose, I'll kill the rest of your betas. So that then becomes this thing that Jennifer is using to manipulate Derek. She's like, Derek, you need my help. I can help you in your fight against the Alpha Pack who, they killed your beta. They killed 2 of your betas. You remember Erica?
Yeah, they got her too.
Eventually, she manages to slip away.
Yeah, I was going to say the hospital sequence
chaos
is really good where she like gets away from them because she's wily and she's got some power.
But Peter is like, there is another way that we can save my niece and your sister. You have to sacrifice your alpha power to heal her. You'll go back to being a beta. And so Derek does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truly his flop era.
Frankly, his flop era began with him taking on the alpha status. It only makes sense that for his flop era to end, he had to descend back to his true rank.
It is a nice moment, though.
Yeah.
Because it's this weird thing where Peter tells him how to do it, and then as soon as Derek decides, okay, I'm going to do it, Peter's like, no,
but
you'll
be giving up your
Think
power.
Of the power. You needed to protect yourself. I would never give that up so easily. Think about what you're sacrificing. And Derek gets to a place where he's like, I actually don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care about amassing power and building a little private army and protecting myself. I just want to save my sister who I love. I don't need to be the alpha anymore. That's your obsession, not mine, Peter.
Damn. But of course, it's Peter just manipulating again. It's the same shit that happened when Derek was a kid and was wanting to be with his girlfriend.
But Derek is a beta again at that point, and the final 2 episodes of that arc is just Jennifer has kidnapped the parents. And she's trying to hold all the cards. She's not really holding all of them, but she thinks she is. And she's like, Derek, if you help me, beta though you are, if you help me kill Deucalion and Kali, because she thinks she's killed the twins at this point. They're not actually dead. They've just, they've been depowered. They're no longer alphas and they can't do their fusion dance. But she's like, it's just Deucalion and Kali. Either I sacrifice my last little set of 3, the Guardians, and get enough power to kill Deucalion and his remaining lieutenant, or you help me and we kill them together. And Derek's like, I don't know. You keep talking about us like we're the same, like we're friends. And she's like, listen, I was manipulating you, yes, but the romance that we had, that was real. Like, think about it from my point of view. I'm a victim. They took my face. Like my face.
My face,
Think
dude.
about, like,
Can you
please.
imagine? God.
You understand that they're evil. Why is it so hard for you to understand that in order to beat the evil people, I had to do some evil things? I don't want to kill people. It's just the way the magic works.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it.
Derek is like, no, actually, I don't want to help you. But Jennifer eventually saves his bacon, I guess. He's not around when Kali shows up for their final showdown. I don't know where he's gone. I think he runs away with Peter. They're looking for the Nematon and they need to like find where it is because Talia apparently took away their memories of it. But when Kali shows up, Jennifer's like, surprise, bitch. Bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
It's kind of hazy and
kills
weird,
her.
and Kali's screaming, I should have made sure you were dead. It's like, okay, Kali, at this point.
Derek is pretty weak after relinquishing his alpha power, even by beta standards. He's like, oh, I'm not up to full strength. And Jennifer's like, no, it's okay. I killed the last one, so it's just you and me versus Deucalion. We can do this. Join me, Derek. We could be a power couple. But Deucalion, on his end of things, has gotten Scott onto his side, where Scott is like, yeah, I think Jennifer is the bigger threat. Deucalion is evil, but he's not actively killing anyone right now.
Yeah, and I can actually weirdly negotiate and reason with him.
In the final episode of that half of season 3, the eclipse happens and the werewolves are briefly depowered. Jennifer knows this is going to happen and she's like, yeah, Derek, if you can help me just fight Deucalion for a bit until the eclipse, then I can kill him. And so Derek seems to do that. He seems to side with her, much to Scott's surprise. And they battle Deucalion. The eclipse starts and all the wolves are depowered. And she's like, yay, now I can finish him. And as she's about to kill him, Derek's like, wait, Jennifer, remember how you're always going about your face and the trauma and stuff? Deucalion is blind most of the time. He's never seen your face. He's never seen what the sacrifice that he made Kali make actually did to you, how much you had to lose. And she's like, you know what, Derek?
You're right.
And so she heals his eyes. And she's like, look at me. Look at me.
Stupid.
But this was Derek's gambit, because Derek was like, I remembered that when I healed Cora with my alpha power, I was left weakened. So now you, Jennifer, are a bit weakened, and I can hold you back. And Jennifer's like, stupid man, I'm still plenty powerful. And she starts to like slash at him with her stolen strength and power. And Derek just stands there and takes the hits.
Tanking
and he has
it.
this flashback to when he was standing there taking the hits from Cora and Boyd in order to save Jennifer.
Set
And
up
it's like,
and pay
I
off.
just had to hold you off for a few more seconds, because much like the sun rising that day, the eclipse is ending now, and the werewolves have their power back. And she's like, snap.
I rise with the sun, and I rise with the moon.
But they're like, yeah, Jennifer, we'll kill you if you don't stop the storm that's going on that might bury our parents alive. And Deucalion's like, no, I'm gonna kill her. And then he kills her, and that's that. They decide to let Deucalion go because Derek says, Talia told me you were a man of vision once, and we want to give you a chance to be that man again. Derek ends that arc, by leaving town with Cora. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go to South America. And it's weird because even at this point, it's like the showrunners weren't sure if they wanted to keep Derek.
Yeah.
Because Scott's voiceover at the end of 3A is, I don't know if Derek is ever coming back. Part of me hopes that he will return, while another part hopes that he'll be okay somewhere else. And I was like, oh?
We're leaving the door open. Yeah. They're like, hey, who knows what'll happen next season? It's possible that they got to the point that you were describing at the beginning of the episode, that like, what is the narrative weight of Derek at this point in his story? Like, we might need to just shuffle him off and pave the way for new characters. But at the same time, he's a very popular character, so we don't want to fully let him go.
Because it's like he's had his arc. He became the alpha, realized he sucked at it, and was then willing to give up that power to save someone he loved, which is something that Peter probably never would have done.
Yeah, he's had a very fulfilling arc over this season. Very like all the highs and lows, the epic highs and lows of high school football, the epic highs and lows of having an arc in a supernatural teen drama. He's hit all of them, and now he's at a point of like fulfillment, strangely. It's kind of great how they've set it up, and yeah, this is the point you let a character go.
And in 3A, we also learn a lot more about Talia and how she was this respected member of the supernatural, or at least the werewolf community. She wasn't the true alpha, I don't believe, and I don't know what that means for people who aren't willing to kill for their power. Maybe she just inherited it when the last alpha died. But she was respected by the alpha pack. They knew her. or at least she was respected by the people who eventually became the Alpha Pack. And it's this cool thing where Derek learns about, oh, my mother was this good person and this leader and this protector. I guess I found a family member whose footsteps I can walk in that isn't Peter. And then we go into 3B, which is Derek doesn't do a whole lot of interesting stuff in 3B. It's really, and it's because Derek isn't close to Styles. As much as they have their back and forth bickering, this is a season that is very Styles heavy, and Styles is suffering.
It's got nothing to do with Derek.
Yeah, we meet the Yukimuras and we deal with that. It's like, I can't think of anything important that Derek is doing in season 3. He's not even in the first episode.
It's very season 4 Giles. It's just like the kid who was a couple grades ahead of you, but like tangential to your friend group, and now they're in college or they're taking a gap year, so they're just like hanging out at their apartment, and sometimes you visit. It's just like he's not central to it anymore.
Yeah. I can't think of any important stuff that he does. I mean, he just has some interesting things that he reveals. Like, he reveals that Kitsune, that the reason that they can see Kira's Kitsune aura is because as a young Kitsune, she hasn't learned to hide it yet. I think at this point, Malia is in the story. So he learns he has a cousin, I guess.
Cute.
Malia, who some fans feel were brought in as a replacement for Korra. And I'm like, but where is Korra? You could have brought her back.
There's no reason. Adelaide Kane was a working actor. I mean, I guess maybe that's when she went to Rain. I can't remember what year Rain started, where she was the lead role. So I guess maybe that's it.
Maybe. In universe, she's gone back to South America. There is a nice moment in episode 18 where Derek tells Scott that, oh, the Hales used to protect Beacon Hills, and now this town needs Scott to be its new protector. And it's like, see, again, Derek being like, this is not my show.
Yeah, this is not, I don't need
you are a Hale.
the smoke, and I don't need the heraldry. This is all you, buddy. I was prom king. Now it's your turn. Leaves the school.
But yeah, can't think of anything else important until we get to the stinger at the end of season 3.
The stinger is so...
Let me make sure I'm not selling him short. Oh yeah, there's this interesting thing where when the Nogitsune is like sowing the seeds of strife amongst the group and making Aiden and Isaac and Derek like go off the rails and attack their own allies, Derek almost sets Chris Argent on fire because he's like, I'm getting revenge for the fire that Kate set, burning my family alive.
Yeah.
And it's this nice place where he and Chris have gotten to because Chris manages to get free and get the upper hand. And he's like, Derek, please don't make me kill you. I don't want to kill you anymore because you're not my enemy and I'm not yours.
Aww.
And it's like, oh, wow, look at how far we've come. Because season 1, Chris would have absolutely killed him. I guess that's a nice thing in season 3. Like, Chris and Derek are often paired together. They're the Damon and Alaric.
Exactly. They're the dad and the
around.
uncle. It's like a fun pair. And they're like the most, it's like, these kids always getting into trouble. It's up to us to rescue them. Which again makes me side-eye Damon Salvatore, but alas.
In the second last episode of season 3, the twins are shot by an unseen assailant. When they're examining the shell casings of the bullets, they assume that it's the Calaveras, the Mexican werewolf hunting family. And Derek's like, no, these are not Abuela from Glee or Jane the Virgin or Switched at Birth. These are not her bullets. And then Chris Argent recognizes them and he's like, no, that's not possible. It can't be who I think it is. Another nice like team up that happens this season is Derek, as the twins have now defected in the second half of season 3. They're no longer with the Alpha Pack because the Alpha Pack is gone. They're trying so hard to join Scott's pack, which they never actually officially do, which is quite sad because Scott is like, my teammates don't like you. We don't fully trust you.
Yeah. You are part of killing Boyd. Like, it's really not the situation.
Derek has a conversation with them in the final episode, and he's like, yeah, you've been fighting to prove yourselves to Scott and, prove that you could fight for him to be this leader that you want so badly. But you should have been fighting for his cause, not just for his attention. Because at this point, the twins are like, we're going to skip town and run away because, the Nogitsune and the Oni and all this, it's really scary. We don't want to die. And Derek's like, no, stay and fight. Show that you are worthy of being in Scott's pack because that's what matters to Scott as a leader. It's protecting people. It's loyalty to his friends. You want to be a part of his pack? You need to do what I did and let go of your more selfish, violent impulses and be a hero.
Derek transcended.
And they're like, okay, we'll do that. And sadly, Aiden is mortally wounded. But Derek is with him alongside Ethan when he dies. So that's kind of nice, since they used to be enemies. And at the very end of the episode,
As far as stingers go.
who walks into his loft apartment? Kate Argent. He's like, Kate? No. What? It's not a dream. This is real. And she's like, ha. And if you think that's a surprise, watch this. Shows that she's now an animal shapeshifter.
The way she shakes her head as she transforms and growls at the camera. It's so stupid. Her face is all purple.
She has like this
so
bluish purple jaguar print on her face, and I was like, "Why aren't you yellow?
Why aren't you jaguar
the
colored?
golden brown?"
The werewolves are magical, certainly, but they look like wolves.
She's blue, and I was like, "Why?"
It feels very like, oh, those are the South American colors. It's like, ew, I don't like that.
I was so confused because I remember seeing the end of season 3, which I think I was watching in real time by that point, and I saw Kate. No, I had no idea who she was. I'd vaguely heard whispers of Kate in the context of season 3 at this point, but I had not been watching the whole show, so I hadn't seen her when she was alive. And when she shows up, I'm like, okay, so this is someone they thought was dead. And then she's like, hi, if you think that's a surprise, watch this. And it's like, oh, okay, so she wasn't a shapeshifter before, and her skin was blue, and I was like, cool, this blue skin, green eyes. And then when season 4 starts and people start talking about her as this were-jaguar, I was like, was I misremembering? Was her skin not blue? Was she golden brown? Am I blind?
The presumption of were-jaguar threw me so hard. I honestly think this was the turning point for me for Teen Wolf. To come from such a brilliant season and then end off and start with were-jaguar was just a step too far for me. I don't know why.
I didn't mind it because they'd established that, like, sometimes the thing you turn into can represent who you are on the inside. And I was like, okay, so she gets to be a were-feline because why?
This kitty has claws,
catty?
I guess. I don't know. It was so, like, were-coyote, okay, a type of wolf at the very least. But, like, were-jaguar. Ooh. And then, you know, at least when they jumped the shark, they didn't stop jumping. They kept flying. Because at some point we get were-scorpion,
Chameleon,
were-hawk. And I had no further questions, Your Honor, because at this point, who cares? You know? Thank you, Kate Argent, for kicking that door wide open. And you know, the extra bit of it is when the berserkers come in and I just get lost. It's like, okay.
Gosh.
Okay.
We'll delve into it in a Kate episode, I guess. But at the beginning of season 4, Derek is missing, and Scott and co go to Mexico to find him because they think the Calaveras have him.
There's some timey-wiminess to these scenes, right? Like episode 1 of season 4 happens before the stinger, is that right?
No. I'm not sure.
Because there's this scene in the beginning of season 4 where Derek and Peter have been captured by the Calaveras.
Yes.
But then there's the scene where Kate has him, but it's after that?
Yeah.
So what happened?
Yeah, I think it's after that.
Between this...
They are jumping around, I guess.
Sorry, keep
also
going.
the Calaveras are trying to get Scott to, I guess, figure out on his own that Kate is alive. And I'm like, you could have just told him.
You could just tell him. I don't see why not.
But at the end of the episode, we find that Derek was taken to this church built over the ruins of an Aztec temple in Mexico. And she's performed some ritual on him, stuffed him into a wall, and he's now de-aged. Played by the same actor who played him in the flashback to his teen years when he turned page and had to euthanize her.
Yes. And why did she do this again?
Okay, so it is explained.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
Okay.
She did this because she... It's so stupid. I think someone was manipulating Kate. I didn't delve too much into that. We'll get to a Kate. I think we'll get to it in the Kate episode because I didn't find that out. But what Kate's personal motivations were, she was struggling to control her shifting, and she had heard tell of this item that the Hales had that they use for meditation that could help her control the shift. And she was like, well, Peter killed me, so there's no way I can ask him. Cora effectively doesn't exist anymore. And even if she did exist, I burned her mother alive.
Right.
And all her family members. She doesn't like me. And Derek is my jaded ex, who I've tried to kill multiple times. But there was a time when Derek did like and trust and maybe even love me. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna de-age him physically and mentally to that period in his life so that he trusts me again enough to take me to his family vault so that we can find this item, this Triskelion thing, and then I can have it and do my meditation. And I'm like,
So
this plan is so silly. It feeds into a larger plan where someone else just wanted access to the
that
Hale
vault.
vault so they could
Yes.
steal
But
Peter Hale's
now-
money and have enough money for the Deadpool.
the key bit I think that's relevant to Derek here is that the time when he knew her and liked her, maybe even loved her, was when he was 16. And that just is...
And Kate, given the passage of time that the show seems to be dealing with, Kate must have also been somewhat younger, but the fact that Derek sees her, recognizes her, doesn't question her age is weird.
means she must have at least looked as adult as she does now.
So it's so confusing. I don't know what's going on there. I'm like, why didn't you just have a line where Derek is like, Kate, you look older? And then she could have been like, nah, there's time to explain that later.
That would solve everything, because right now, the way the stars have aligned, and by the stars, I mean the writing of the writers in this show, Kate Argent's a pedophile.
And you know what?
Sorry to say it.
Kate Argent's record would be against her because she has had some ephebeophilia lines from the get-go. She was constantly talking about Scott and his beautiful brown eyes. Even when she finds out he's a werewolf and she's gonna kill him, she's like, it's a shame. I really do love those brown eyes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but are there any scenes with Kate and this now teen version of Derek that feel iffy? Because I don't remember, and I don't want to malign her with evidence that isn't accurate.
I do believe she kisses him.
Yeah, that's what I thought
he
it was.
kisses her.
I just didn't want to rely on my own memories, because the traumatic ones, they don't always come back right.
No, Kate
So-
Argent, I'm sorry, but your record is against you. The evidence, it might be circumstantial, but the evidence is pointing towards you being an
It
ephebophile.
truly is like, if you weren't a pedophile then, you sure are one now.
Because even in season 1, when she's at a lacrosse game with Chris and Allison, and she sees, I think it's Jackson for the first time, she's like, if I were still in high school. And then she's like, or maybe even a teacher, a substitute teacher or something like that. And then Allison is like, oh my gosh, you're crazy, Aunt Kate. And I'm like, no, Allison, Jackson is even younger than you. It's weird that your aunt is saying this.
Jesus Christ. Derek, you poor soul. You were a victim. I'm so sorry.
The groomer becomes the groomee, unfortunately. And you know what? I will say, if Kate had been grooming him back in the day, if indeed she was an adult and he was a teen in werewolf years or whatever, it would then be like, oh no, the cycle of abuse, because then Derek grows up and he becomes a groomer in a different kind of way to his betas that he's using to build his army of child soldiers.
Yes.
So there's something there. It's like, oh, sometimes victims become victimizers.
Is it something I want to delve too deeply into? Not necessarily, but it's there. And whomsoever you are who wishes to thread that together, that's your business.
It is stated in the show that teenagers tend to make better turned wolves because they're young
They're
and
young,
strong.
supple, strong bodies. Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, what is this Gen Z Twitter before Gen Z Twitter existed, treating people in their 20s like they're withered old husks? I'm like, your peak is generally like 25 and under. Like, you're not, like, physically, you're not at your best when you're 16. That's just not true.
Certainly, I was very weak at 16. I'm a lot stronger than I was then. I think I'd make a much better werewolf now.
Derek in this teen body has lost all of his memories, which is what Kate wanted. So he only remembers stuff up until this point. So it's this really sad thing where he has to learn all over again that his family is dead. They don't dwell on it too much, but I guess in universe it's pretty sad because like he goes to their house looking for them. It's this like condemned land that is like, because finally they've like taped off the land and they're like either stripping the house down or whatever. And he's like, no, I live here. And the cops are like, no one lives here. Scott initially lies because he's like, okay, well, let me tell you what happened to your family, teen Derek. There was a fire. And then he looks into his like big eyes and he's like, and your family left town after the fire, but we'll take you to them after we get your memories back. But eventually, after speaking to Scott's dad, who is a character
Here.
this season. He learns that, oh, my family is indeed dead. And he's like, oh no, that's sad. Before he can dwell on that too much, Kate shows up and she's like, I need you. And that's when she takes him and gets him to open the family vault so that she can get this little trinket. Except Peter shows up and he's like, haha, Kate, you fool. That little totem thing doesn't actually do anything. It's just an object we use for like focus and meditation. It has no actual power. It's not going to help you get more control.
Trumped once again. Damn it, Kate. They always get you.
And he's like, no, I, Peter, actually taught Derek to control the shift by focusing on anger and hatred. And it's like, yet another person who groomed you in toxic ways. Poor Peter.
Yeah. Derek.
Poor Derek. Gosh. We're this far in. I'm so sorry, Derek. It's a sign that you need to leave the show at the end of the
truly.
season. I don't know. But there is something nice in that in this scene as Scott and Malia and Kira are outside fighting Kate's berserkers. Derek, who doesn't know that it's Kate's berserkers, he's like, well, Peter and Kate, you can continue this argument you're having. I'm going to go outside and help Scott because in the few hours I think I've known him, he's convinced me that he's a good person and an alpha worth fighting for. And then I have no idea how or why it happens. It's in episode 2. But in the chaos of this smoke grenade that someone has thrown into the vault as they walk in to steal Peter's fortune, Derek just transforms back into his adult self. He's got all his memories back. He's an adult again. The only change is that now his eyes are glowing yellow gold again, as if he's never taken the life of an innocent. And it's like, oh, okay, that's fine. But how did he turn back?
I guess, did a berserker hit him at any point? Because that's all it takes with this show. It's esoteric and metaphysical enough that like the rage of the berserker or something and knocked it out of him. I don't know.
Maybe it injured him and triggered his healing, which I don't know. Because he healed earlier in the episode. He was healing very quickly early in the episode because he's a teen and he's young and strong now. They're like, wow, his healing is so fast. The only drawback is now he's lost control of his shift.
All right.
But yeah, teen Derek is not around for long. He's an adult pretty quickly. But going on the rest of the season, we start to see that Derek is not doing so hot. The assassins from the Deadpool start to show up.
Oh, God.
Brayden comes back to town because she's been hired by Derek and Peter to find their missing fortune.
Queen!
She's so cool and badass. This is the first time we see that she's alive because we see her get slashed in season 3 by Deucalion.
Yes.
And then we just never hear from her again. But she shows up again with scars and it's like, oh, I guess she survived. You guys really got to make sure you kill someone properly so that you don't turn someone by mistake.
Right.
That's why we have Kate to deal
seconds
with.
away from becoming a werewolf. And in fact, it's possible that was like the kind of uncertainty when she showed up again of like, well, she's got claw marks. And we just learned about somebody who got clawed and got turned into a were-jaguar. Still questions. But anyway.
Peter is like, oh no, her price for hire is too expensive. And Derek's like, we don't care what the price is. We will pay because we have no choice. And also, I want to know what Kate did to me. My eyes are yellow and it's a mystery. Then Derek and Brayden just hook up randomly. We don't see it at first. We see them getting dressed and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's something that you've started doing.
You know what? I don't mind this at all because they're both hot and they have a pretty solid like transactional business deal going on. And then they just decided, you know what? Got some frustrations to get rid of. We'll hook up.
Okay.
It's fine. I buy it.
That's fair. We get into the whole Liam Dunbar arc, but it's just funny that when Scott and co are still keeping Liam's beta status a secret, Derek's like, I can smell someone else was on the wolf with Scott and the Wendigo and the mute last night. He smelled afraid. And that's the last time Derek will be smelling anything for a long while because his powers start to wane.
Crazy.
Because he goes to school with the sheriff and he's unable to smell the mute coming. They fight the mute and eventually they're able to take him down. And then Peter shows up to kill him and they're like, Peter, no! And Peter's like, nah, I'm gonna kill him. And Derek's like, no, Peter, we've learned a better way. And Peter's like, not me.
Not
I'm a creature
me.
of habit. Derek's dynamic with Peter is so fun because it's like, he obviously doesn't like him.
Yeah.
But he's gotten to a point where he's like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to fight you, but I still don't like you. There's a point where Peter is injured in season 4 and he's like got some wolfsbane poisoning that they have to burn out. Derek is like burning it out of him with a blowtorch. Mm-hmm. And Peter is like, don't you have any anesthetic? And Derek's like, yep.
And it keeps burning. It's my favorite. And it works so well because they are family at the end of the day, regardless of what Peter's done. And in these middle seasons, Peter settles into this like jackanapey role because he isn't really a threat. Like, he's still a werewolf, but he's not an alpha, so he's really not the strongest figure amongst the like players in the Teen Wolf world. Like, Scott could easily beat him if he wanted to. So nobody's worried about Peter. So he's just there being kind of shady sometimes, but mostly comedic relief. So it just works so well.
He's that villain that you've beaten from season 1 that you're like, he's just here.
He's just here
but,
now.
you know, he's more annoying than anything else.
He's Damon if I liked him.
Also, now he's broke because he got robbed.
Right! Putting him through his paces makes for such comedy. I love it.
There's a nice scene in episode 5 of season 4 where Derek is watching Scott take charge of Liam, his new beta, and he smiles and he's like, "You're gonna be good at this."
No.
Also, Liam's anger will make him strong, and I'm like, "No, Derek,
That's not. We've learned.
let's not take
way.
one
You
step forward
said
and 2
it.
steps back." And later on, he speaks to Chris and he's like, "Did you know Kate was alive?" And Chris is like, "Well, when I saw the shell casings at the end of last season, I had some suspicions, but I wasn't sure. But I'm going to capture her and I'm going to imprison her." And then Derek's like, "Hold off on that because I need to find out what she took from me. I am losing my super senses. My strength is waning. My werewolf powers are going away." In the next episode, there's an interesting scene where we see a flashback to Kate listening to a cassette recording about the Hale family, and it reveals that they were wealthy benefactors of the town who helped build the community, but they kept themselves isolated. And this is the scene in which they say not all the children born into the family would necessarily be werewolves. And it's like, Kate, the sins you've committed.
You've committed some
But-
horrors. But also founding family. That's nice.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at you guys protecting the town and not exploiting people like the Mystic
Right.
Falls founding families.
Right.
But again, Derek is like, well, passing that role on to Scott, my spiritual son
Oh,
or spiritual
my little
half brother
brother.
or something. My cousin.
My cousin.
Through his werewolf father, Peter, my uncle. But Derek's having a tough time of it. There's a scene in which he struggles to hold down werewolf Brett. Cody sent you. When Deaton is trying to treat him and he's like, "Oh, my strength is waning." And Styles is like, "Use your werewolf strength." And he's like, "I'm not the only wolf here, Styles." He and Malia ultimately find Satomi's butchered pack that have been killed by the chemist.
Yeah.
He teaches Malia that, werewolves can mask their scent. And he finds Brayden, who is injured but alive, and he has to take her to the hospital. And they get these cute, tender moments where he's like watching over her as she's in recovery. And she's like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "I'm just protecting my investment, because I hired you." And later on, when he's at his home and she shows up while he's asleep, he's like, "Why are you here?" And she's like, "I'm protecting my investment because if anything happens to you, I don't get paid." And it's like, they're lying.
I like it.
They like each
I
other.
like it. Big fan of this.
But Derek is instrumental in healing the people who have been, the werewolves who've been infected by the chemist, because when he speaks to Satomi, he and Deaton realize Satomi is immune. She's somehow resistant to this virus that's been engineered to hurt werewolves. And Derek mentions that whenever she would visit his mother, because she was friends with Talia, she would drink this awful smelling tea. And then Deaton's like, what was in the tea? And then they're like, wild purple reishi. And then Derek is like, I kept some in my mom kept some in the family vault. And they're able to go to the vault and get some and then cure everyone. So I was like, that's nice. Look at you in the final throes of usefulness.
But like transitioning into this like kind of healery, like watch overy kind of character rather than like deep in the fight. It is interesting.
Boy, oh boy, can he not be deep in the fight. Because by episode 8, even Brayden has noticed that you aren't healing. What's happening? And he's like, "No, some injuries take longer than others." And she's like, "Show me your eyes, your glowing eyes." And then he can't make them glow. And she's like, "Oh my goodness, are you human
You're
now?"
human now, dude.
And Derek's like, "Well, I guess." And she's like, "Okay, stand up. I'm going to teach you how to fight and protect yourself like a human would against the supernatural." It's really cute.
It's very
She shows him a
cute.
gun. He's like, "I don't like guns. I've been shot repeatedly, remember?" And she's like, "Well, you're going to need them. And you're going to have to be a good shot because the average person can move 21 feet in 1.5 seconds, apparently." So she's like, if someone's got a knife and they're coming at you with a gun, you got to not miss or they'll gut you. Then the training becomes sexy and flirty, of course, and they hook up again.
I'm here for it.
In episode 9, Scott has to warn Derek that, we've been trying to figure out the cipher keys to decode the dead pool. The first 2 keys were Allison and Aiden's names, 2 dead people. The third key is your name, which is weird because you're alive.
That is the most haunting.
It might mean you're in danger.
The most haunting, like, harbinger of my own death. I would actually run for my life.
And it's interesting because at the beginning of the season, when Lydia is with the Calaveras trying to figure out where Derek is in Mexico, they're like, can you sense him? Is he dead? Because you're a banshee, you'd know if he was dead. And Lydia is like, no, he's not dead, but he's also not alive. I don't know what that means, but that's what it feels like. And then we see he's been de-aged, and I'm like, maybe somehow that process that Kate put him through is still affecting him in this way that he's between
states of being.
Derek, for his part, is just like, well, guess that means I'm doomed.
Real.
But in episode 10, he gives this impassioned speech about how, yeah, we're going to let everyone know that if they come after us, these assassins, these would-be soldiers of fortune trying to kill us and our friends just to make a quick buck off of our dead bodies, we'll come for them. We'll put them on our Deadpool. And I was like, oh, look at you rallying the troops, even though you don't have powers anymore. In episode 11, when Scott finally returns the money he's been holding on to all season, poor Scott, I understand. Financial troubles eat the rich. Also, it's Peter's money. Screw Peter.
It's Peter's money. Who cares?
He confesses to Derek that he's been holding on to it. And Derek is like, no, I understand why you were tempted. You've been having financial troubles at home. And so has Styles. And, you know, anyone can be tempted. Even a true alpha. Doesn't make you a bad person. Also, he's like, I don't care about that money. That's Peter's money. I know it's our family's money, but it's Peter's. I got my own bank accounts. I own property. I've got that loft.
I've been making investments over time. I've been watching the markets. I was shielded from the crash.
He even tells Scott, we might be better off if the rest of the money never came back, because why would we want to fund my evil uncle?
Yeah.
But this episode, Scott says that Deaton is still trying to figure out if what Kate did to Derek can be reversed. And in the final episode, Derek has a convo with Brayden, his boothang, and he's like, ugh, I hate not having powers. I feel helpless. He seems to mean unhelpful because he's like, I hate not being able to help. I hate being helpless. And I'm like, not being able to help and being helpless aren't the same thing. Helpless is when you can't help yourself. But he's like, yeah, I don't like relying on a gun. And she's like, well, I rely on a gun. You know, I'm not helpless. I'm a human. I'm badass. Right. He then ends up helping in the final battle with gunfire. Before that happens, though, he does have this nice moment where he gives Liam the Triskelion, the little paperweight, and he's like, here, Liam, meditate, say alpha, beta, omega again and again to try and control your shifting.
You need that shit, buddy. You better start practicing your mantras now.
And he and Styles even lie that, yes, it has special properties, like Kate believed. It'll totally help you. And then at first it doesn't work. So then Styles has to come in and be like, okay, forget the alpha, beta, omega nonsense. Say 3 things cannot long remain hidden. The sun, the moon, and the truth. Over and over again. And then that actually works. And because Liam is able to control himself with Styles and Derek's help, he's then able to help in the final battle as well. And I'm like, oh, look, Styles and Derek had a son all along.
Please. Now when we're so close to the end. Please. Oh, God. Oh.
But in the final fight, Derek is wounded, seemingly fatally. And it looks like Brayden watches him die. And she's like, Derek. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Actually, rewatching all of Derek's stuff, I'm so annoyed with the movie and what it implicitly does to Brayden. But that's another story.
It's crazy.
At the very end of the fight, our beloved abuela, Araya Calavera, is fighting Kate. And she seems to have accepted that she's about to be killed by Kate. She's like, let me show you how the Calaveras die. And as Kate is about to go for her, Derek shows up in true wolf form now. Something that only Talia and I guess Malia as a were-coyote have ever been able to do in the show.
I was gonna ask about that, but anyways, story for another day.
But it seems as though it's a very special, unique ability. But Derek shows up, this full, just like black-furred wolf with glowing blue eyes, his eyes back to their proper beta who's taken innocent life color, and he leaps onto Kate and just like savages her, and I'm like, yes,
iconic.
It's what she deserves.
It's always what she deserves.
And he shifts back to human form, and she's like, I thought you were dead. She's so disappointed. She's like, I thought you died off screen back there. And he's like, no, I wasn't dead. I was evolving. Something you'll never be able to do.
Ooh, get her again.
drags her one final time, and then she runs off, gets shot by her brother, and runs away.
Right. Right.
At the end of the season, this is the ending that was so strange. Because Brayden had a line where she told, I think either Styles or Scott, that she was a U.S. Marshal.
Yes.
Once upon a time. And Derek asks her, he's like, you weren't really a U.S. Marshal, were you? And she's like, well, I got distracted. I was hunting someone. It's a bit difficult to like keep a proper job when you're obsessing over this one target that you're after. And Derek was like, who were you after? And then she's like, I was after someone known by a code name, the Desert Wolf, who had been alluded to earlier in the season. We'll later on find out the Desert Wolf is Malia's birth mother. But it's so strange because that is the final scene with Derek and Brayden in this season, and Derek's final scene until the end of season 6.
It makes it seem like they were gonna spin off or something.
Yeah, either spin off or at least explain that they've gone to go look for her, and if and when she shows up, it'll be linked to Derek and Brayden. But no, the Desert Wolf just shows up on her own later on, Miss Hermione Lodge, and it has nothing to do with Brayden and Derek.
Yeah, it's wild. I guess they failed in their job, broke up, and then Derek hooked up with someone else, and then broke up with that person. I don't know. Very shortly in succession, right? Because the time jump has to make sense. Anyway.
The movie is not canon in my mind.
Frankly.
But yeah, Derek shows up at the tail end of season 6, and I don't care because I don't like that season.
I honestly can't
and he doesn't do anything
important for Derek if he were to appear in that last season.
He cycles through points that he's had before, like, oh, Scott, you're a true leader, a true alpha. You will protect this town as my family did before you. Scott is an honorable man. Styles and I are bickering again. Malia and I are like sort of like tentative family. But like we're close.
It's like all your greatest hits in the final episode for the sake of like, we're giving the send-off.
Kate shows up again and is like, I don't like you, but you're sexy, but I want you to die. But even in that moment, Kate is like, but my new op is Scott. I hate Scott more than anyone now. And it's like, what does Scott ever do to you, Kate?
Jesus.
But yeah, that is Derek. If I were to break up his arcs into pieces, it'd be he's the lone wolf in season 1. In season 2, he's the new alpha. In 3A, he's the failed alpha. In 3B, he's back to beta. And then I guess in 4, he's evolving. He had to be unmade so that he could reboot and come back better than ever and then leave the show.
I thought
and I truly wish
died,
he and Brayden had
but
gotten
instead I had crystallized and become the Clavison you see before you today.
That's so real. He thought he died, but he crystallized and he came back. The Adventures of Derek and Brayden, guys, please. I don't know.
Like, I'm going on AO3 immediately after this because I had forgotten how directly they'd been like the Desert Wolf, and then disappeared from the show.
Never to be. I can't remember if Brayden shows up again, but certainly Derek is never seen again.
No, I don't think so.
Such a shame.
Yeah.
And a shame that their romance didn't get a lot of screen time because, of course, this is a very full cast. But I think they made it really sweet with what they had. Like,
I thought it was
two people
very
who were
cute.
like,
I was fully committed to the Dayton, the Brerick. I'm down. Like, they fit together very well. Their vibes coincide. Like, she's got her own thing going on. She's not like side along to him. In fact, it would have been her mission that they were chasing down.
Yeah.
And he would be helping her.
Finally found himself a real woman.
Right.
Not a
pedophile.
groomer huntress. not a
serial killer.
Not a serial killing Derek. Darak. Gosh, I keep saying Derek. Not a serial killing Darak. She taught him to take care of himself when he didn't have power to rely on. It's really cool. That was the actual Allison that he needed to his Scott.
Oh,
Brayden.
That's so true. It's also the black girlfriend effect. She'll teach you to get your life right. And then they threw her away. I see you, Jeff Davis. And you're on my list.
And I guess when they broke up off screen, that's why he came back in season 6 and then had the fate in the alternate timeline of the film that he has.
Right, exactly. But yeah, Derek, overall, I do like Derek. He's got a real dip there in season 2, which is like, it makes the story interesting, but you forget sometimes he was up to some shit. But yeah, no, great journey, great growth, just like a solid guy at the end of it.
Yeah, that's all I have to say for our Born Wolf. I guess that's it from us.
Yeah, no, I've got no further thoughts. I think this was brilliantly done.
If you have any questions or thoughts, you can mail us at animalattackpod@gmail.com. You can tweet us at @animattackpod. That's @ANIM attackpod on Twitter. And you'll find the link tree in our bio with all of our online stuff. Until next time, beware your murderous uncles. Don't date huntresses that are too old for you. And don't build child armies.
So true. So true. True in any lifetime.
And if someone begs you for death and you have to euthanize them, which is, a moral conundrum for certain people, but if you have to go there, do not sacrifice them under an emetometry by mistake. But until next time, bye.
Cheers.